choose right from wrong. We found the strength to go on together. To go on together. Yeah. To go on together. Dancing closely together and staying forever young. What about you and I then? Can we two find a way to align with each other? Let's move closer to a new history. Find out what we can be together. Take my hand and we will conquer the world. This is our final chance. 'Cause one day we'll be looking back at this. We were in a big mess together. But we found a way to choose right from wrong. We found the strength to go on together. To go on together. Yeah. To go on together. Hey, listen up, I've tried to tell you this 100 times. Not getting better by lying there pretending to cry. You on repeat, you can't see shit 'cause you have closed your eyes. You say you listen, but you're missing what it's all about. Rise up now. If you never fall, you don't change at all. Cry out now. Have you given up? I will never stop, yeah. I try to help you, but you keep reading between the lines. There's nothing there for you to complicate, we're not aligned. You say you listen, but guessing that's just another sign. Not growing up, you're growing old, your life keep passing by. Rise up now. If you never fall, you don't change at all. Cry out now. Have you given up? I will never stop, yeah. Now if you break it, I can take it, I don't need a prize. Leave out the fact that I am up against 1,000 guys. My intuition efficient 'cause I can't use my mind. Don't try to tell me how it's done, you haven't done your time. Up now. If you never fall, you don't change at all. Cry out now. Have you given up? I will never stop, yeah.
to know ya. Hey, nah, 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 nah. Delve into emotion, leave us in this moment. Yeah.
Take it on. look like big fun. Come on, let's get it on. Like that Marvin Gaye song. I'm stunning, you love it. Come on, give me something. I know that you want it. Come on, give me something. The night is young and so are we. So maybe you should leave with me. The night is young and so are we, baby. The night is young, so let's have some fun. If you love me right, yeah, this could be the summer of our lives now, honey. Give it to me like you know you should now, baby. This could be the summer of our lives, the summer of our lives. The sun sets on fire, tell me your desires. We're not getting tired, baby, take me higher. I'm Sunday, you love it, come on, give me something. I know that you want it, boy. The night is young and so are we. So maybe you should leave with me. The night is young and so are we, baby. The night is young, so let's have some fun. If you love me right, yeah, this could be the summer of our lives now, honey. Give it to me like you know you should now, baby. This could be the summer of our lives, the summer of our lives. Give it to me, baby, all night. We can keep on dancing all night. Give it to me, baby, all night. Give it to me, baby, all night. We can keep on dancing all night. Give it to me, baby, all night. You love me right. If you love me right, if you love me right, this could be the summer of our lives now, honey. Give it to me like you know you should now, baby. This could be the summer of our lives, the summer of our lives. Give it to me, baby, all night. We can keep on dancing all night. Give it to me, baby, all night. Give it to me, baby, all night. We can keep on dancing all night. Give it to me, baby, all night. Let's go.
Up now for Magic, as he is somehow, some way coming back into this game. Well, we see another raid coming over here. We've got the heavy Hippocon. Nice play from Mista. Super active with these Hippocon. Now Magic is pushing Matrius back, who is really struggling here. But Matrius taking the forward town center, taking the initiative here. Do we see a heroic edge? We've got Aphrodite coming in. Aphrodite is going to be huge. That Minion Lion, very, very strong against the heroic age of Magic. But then if you go too heavily into the Minion Lions, you will get hit. Oh, the Logos coming down. They take it all. This is really good. 5 villager kills here. The curse comes down, takes down a bunch of the units, forces Magic back. And even though the fortress goes down, you just see all of these militia popping out, and it's like, God, Mista's at 129 population. This guy's at 66 population now. Magic going after these food, these gold villagers here. This is going to be huge, as we're seeing Squash having to retreat here. He's probably going to have to cast Restoration in order to continue in this game, which is not something that... And Mista is just all over Ghost Lake in this matchup, completely demonstrating the power of Norse. The Norse Rush so incredibly strong here. He's housed in the gold mine. He's all in the face of Ghost Lake, and Ghost Lake has got no breath to breathe here, no room to move, and it's just completely lights out here. Impeccable play from Mista. The siege towers hitting the town center. We see a shifting sands here from Magic. Very, very smart. That's a lot of resources lost there, but Squash counters it with his own shifting sands. There is the rain from Magic to block the Locust. Very, very smart there by Magic yet again, but you just have to retreat here. Just retreat. The mercenary cavalry have already been made. They die. I hate it. You hate to see it. The town center gets a lot of damage dealt, but that there was 900 resources for the siege tower. These mercenary cavalry still fighting, and if they don't die with their lifespan, they have gotten their money's worth. We see the siege tower coming back in. More mercenary cavalry going to be hitting this one. With only one siege works here. These siege towers come out too slow to go in one by one. You see the town center doing a lot of damage done. Watch, still sitting one town center here, and Magic has managed to hold on for the time being. What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyd, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the left side of the map in the red color, playing as Isis. His name is Magic. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is TheMista. The map is Tundra. It's been almost 3 years, or even more than 3 years, since we've seen these guys play. These guys have played together a total of 13 times in a competitive tournament setting for money. It is 6-7 through this series between these two players, possibly one of the tightest series between two players in the history of Age of Mythology here. Coming at you 2021 for the 7th or the 14th series between these guys. The battle of the GOATs, if you ask me. We've got Mista, we've got Magic, we've got a series best of 5 here for 300 smackaroonies. Wow, what a time to be alive. Mista rolling in with the Odin here, map Tundra. Magic with the Ice. It's going to be an interesting one to come in right now. Both players have come back fairly recently. Probably a lot of rust going on, trying to shake it off and trying to get to that level before the drop of Age of Empires 4. I know both players are extremely excited about playing that and getting extremely good at that game really, really quickly. So we'll see where they're at in this. Magic running with the Isis in this one. It's a very interesting pick on this map in particular if he was expecting to see the Odin. Now, Magic is going to have to know how to get in with the Anubites. If we've been watching any of the Soup versus Isis shenanigans or set shenanigans, the Egyptian players have been having a lot of success with their Anubites in this matchup. So we'll see if that's what Magic's going to do, or if Magic sticks in with that stock standard Isis Ancestors Eclipse shenanigans. Now we'll see what Mista's got plans for. We've already got a really, really forward aggressive couple of obelisks here for Magic, but Mista is currently chopping his wood down, getting his economy going, doing all the good things. There's a lot of options for Mista in this matchup, and a lot of them involve simply just having to survive whatever the Isis player decides to do. And if you can survive them without taking too much damage, 9 times out of 10 you're ahead, and then you can make a big push after that one. So we'll see how this is all gonna come out here in this one. We've got some relics on the map. We do have the Gruknir Odin Spear, huge relic for the Odin player because it says it's the Odin Spear, right? You have to pick it up. No, just me, maybe, I don't know. We've also got the head of Orpheus here, the extra 8 building line of sight. Actually a really, really good relic. Definitely want to pick that one up if you see that one there. And it's convenient for you. Random temple being placed here by Magic decides against his first decision that's probably not a good idea. Might have even been in range of Forest Fire, dropping that one there. So deciding to delete that, put it in the back of his base. He's got his monument up, getting the temple up, already has a ton of villagers on gold. This does indicate to me he wants to go double monument here. If we chuck on our our cheeky thing, you can see he's getting that gold coming out that wood. He's also getting a lumber camp right now. Getting the lumber camp, this indicates that he's wanting to classical fight, because if he's going to be going for a fight, well, actually could fast heroic here. You could fast heroic with the lumber camp, one town center fast heroic. Basically, this lumber camp indicates that Magic is going one town center. We're not going to be seeing a fast second town center in this game from Magic. Now, Mista, on the other hand, what is he doing? He's got his temple up right now. He's going up through Freya. He's got the forward temple. Magic sees this one very, very clearly. In fact, he's got the double obelisk here to check this out, and he's going to know exactly what Mista's going to want to do here. Mista's going to be bashing these obelisks down with his Ulfsar, getting just a little bit of favor for himself, and we'll see how this is all going to go here, as both players should be on their way to the next age fairly soon. We still have, there's the Monument to the Soldiers. This does not indicate Anubis just yet. Anubis indicates Anubis. You can go Bast here. You can even get some Sphinx out to do some Sphinx raiding, or just go to the heroic age and start spamming out Scorpion Man. It's all good. But Magic definitely going very, very late to the classical age, and he's just going to try and get as much of this food as he possibly can. He's got 2 Aurochs in his base. He's got the goats in his base, 8 goats in his base as well, so it's going to be completely fine. He did pick Bast, but decided against that one there, going in with the Anubis. I love this play here from Magic. We'll see if Mista's going to be ready for it. With the forward temple here, he's going to have to be very, very quick, smart, getting up his walls and playing very defensive against the Anubis, because it's going to be a difficult time to defend his villages against that one there. Magic does decide very early here to retreat away from his granary. Does not want to lose any villages at this point in the game, as Mista is moving in, going to start tacking down these towers here. He gets the free Valkyrie out, moving that one in. The Pharaoh is going to come in and do a little bit of chip damage while we're waiting for Magic to get to the second age. The Pharaoh is not the best at this point in the game, but the town center kind of defends this decently here, as we are seeing the Pharaoh yet again. Just going to come in, gets a big amount of damage onto the Valkyrie actually while this is all going on, but we'll see if this tower is going to go down, if this is going to do anything for Mista at this point in the game. We do see Flood of the Nile and Pickaxe coming through for Magic. That's going to give him a lot more gold income, so we'll see how he's going to use that one. He's only got the 4 villagers on the gold there, so an interesting decision to run with Pickaxe right here. I would have maybe expected to see Husbandry already. No, we don't have Husbandry yet, so a little bit confused about that one. We see the barracks coming up right away, as well as the Freya Nubite is out. We don't see an immediate Nubite here from Magic. He doesn't have the favor for it. No, he doesn't have the favor for it, so gonna have to wait on that one. Maybe gonna get Feet of the Jackal or Necropolis first, as the Nubite's gonna start roaming around. We see all of the longhouses coming down right now for Mista. An interesting decision. Sometimes we see fast second town centers in this situation when you see the delayed classical age from an ISIS player. Sometimes we see mass longhouses with a lot of Herser just trying to wall up and everything else. And essentially, Mista's got the Valkyrie here, so he's going to be able to chase the Anubite around, the initial Anubite around. He needs to make sure that Valkyrie stays alive. And he's got a ton of these Herser coming out right now. So he's going to have enough favor to build a second Valkyrie already, which is something he's really going to want to do here. He's a bit short on the food, but he's going to be able to do that fairly soon. The Anubite sitting in the back. We've got the Axemen are out already, as the Ursa moving in, going to be trying to push Magic off of this food here. We see the Anubite jumping in, going to get a couple of hits over here, and Mista is going to decide to retreat away from this position, as Magic has got the defense right now. But we do see these raiding cavalry are out, and here comes the Avenger. Oh, not the Avenger, the Anubite, excuse me. But there is already the Valkyrie sitting back here, getting ready to defend. The Anubite can jump in onto these villages. There's a Herser already over here. Siegfried Furnace Minder, and the Herser will immediately come over in order to defend this one. Mista does have to be very careful. Meanwhile, he's pushing in here. We see the Plague of Serpents getting cast down, and Mista does have to retreat away from this location. He's not going to be able to keep pushing in here at this point. And we see one villager has been sniped, but the Anubite takes a lot of damage there. So decent enough defense from Mista. I would have liked to see that Valkyrie get involved. 5.5 speed versus 5.3 speed can definitely have chased that one down. There's the Forest Fire coming in onto this location. Going to try and open this up a little bit, as he does have those Herser in order to deal with those Plagues of Serpent there, but it's not really going to do all too much. You can see this Plague of Serpent, or this Serpent Snake here, is sitting next to the forest, but it's still not quite dead. So a little bit of a win here for Magic thus far. Still has his Serpents alive, has traded for Classical Age God Power, even if it is just Forest Fire here. And Mista is simply just trying to get all of his units out right now. He's currently cut production here, whether that's because he's moving forward to a hunt location. He is moving forward to a hunt location. But he is cutting his production here and potentially thinking about going to the next age, throwing up his houses. Magic's got 65 of 98 population. He's got the 3 Anubites right now, but there are a ton of Herso here. So these fights are going to be very, very difficult for Magic to like maneuver in and out of with all those Herso. The Mista forgets that this house needs to be completed for it to actually get any value, but we are seeing Mista continuously pushing in and out, making sure that Magic's not getting anything in this situation here. He's not going to be pushing in, not just poking in, prodding, getting that line of sight. We see the Valkyrie moving in. Got to be a little bit careful with that one. We do have the Pharaoh and the Priest in the army. I'm going to see those Spearmen and Axemen out right now. Going to take down some of these houses. Mista with the houses in the middle of the map here. It's a little bit risky here, as this is going to be a very, very easy port of call for Magic to start sieging down. Magic's got a lot of gold in the bank, so he might be thinking about getting a second town center here or starting to farm. As now we're seeing the fight starting to happen here. The throwing Axemen, they need to focus down those Spearmen. That's the only real thing that they can do at this point. We see this Anubite here, 10 HP, going to be running away. The Herso need to get onto these. Nice jump micro here from Magic, but Mista pulling half of Magic's army around in this fight. Really, really nice play from Mista, as the Herso getting a lot of value here onto those Anubites. Gets one snipe there. The Valkyrie in the back is getting taken out by the Pharaoh and the Priest. Magic is pushing Mista back, though, as Mista looks like he is simply just not able to compete with the classical age army of Magic at this point, and he's going to keep trying to turn around on this one. He gets a decent choke point here, but Magic is looking like he is simply just overpowering Mista at this stage of the game. The classical fight from the ISIS is just too strong, and Magic is looking very, very good in this situation here. Even has some slingers out now to try and deal with those throwing Axemen. Mista might be able to retreat back into his base and continue in this game. I have seen these classical fights go very, very spicily a lot of the time in this Norse matchup. We see Mista going to be garrisoning some units into these longhouses here. Now he's starting to get some Valkyries up. So long as Mista can keep sneaking hunt in this game, he should be okay to continue. A lot of Magic's score lead here is inflation from the favor from the myth units. It's not as big of a difference as you might think. Magic's 82 population, Mista is 73 population, going to be grabbing his second town center right in the middle of the map. In fact, this is Mista's second town center. Meanwhile, we see a raid coming over here. This villager did not quite get it, and it's only on like 1 HP here. Is maybe Mista's going to swing around and try and get a big fight here, trying to prevent this town center from going up. If he wants to do that, he's going to have to engage really, really quickly here. He does manage to get a snipe there onto that Spearman, but it's looking like this town center is going to be up for Magic. That's going to give him a really strong foothold in the middle of the map here. Now the villagers moving forward going to start eating these Orok down here. Going to be very, very risky to be in this position. So we'll see how that's going to go. And now Magic pushing back in yet again. He still has those Anubites here, so he can still jump in, get all that damage done, and he does get in there with those Anubites. There's no Herso left, but he does have the Valkyrie. Valkyries are a very, very strong counter to these Anubites, but the Priests are starting to get built by Magic. They're not the strongest in the classical age, but the Valkyrie does only have 55% pierce armor, so they get a decent amount. You do have to somehow snipe off the Pharaoh in these fights. The Pharaoh is the big damage dealer, and it is looking like Magic is simply just outclassing Mista in this first game as the units are all out. Mista's army completely fades to nothing here. He's still got these 3 longhouses up, but Magic has a commanding lead right now. So right now, for Magic, the next port of call is simply just stabilize the 2 town centers, get Heroic Age, get Siege, and make a really big push. Mista's best hope here is to utilize the longhouses, hope Magic misplays and can't get to the Heroic Age in a timely fashion, and repopulate his army and try and win a fight, maybe try and get a gold star, get some raids, get back into this game if he can. We do see that now. Well, actually, Magic's got another option here. If Magic can get onto this gold mine, he can potentially get a gold star in this game. But at this point, just going to be taking down all the houses as Mista needs to throw those up somewhere. He is throwing them up in the kind of middle of the map right now. We'll see how this is all going to go. Another little trick you can do with Egyptian in the classical fight is you can grab these villages in order to take these longhouses down. It is a little bit inefficient. If you spend more than 10 seconds attacking the longhouse to try and take it down, you're doing about 8 damage a second. You got 10 villagers, 800 damage. Not going to quite kill the longhouse, but it does look like this game, Mista decided to tap out here. This one, I believe, was agreed to a loss as Magic is just simply too far in front here. Unfortunately, they decided not to continue it. And we'll move on to the next game. Hope you guys are enjoying it. And just give us a sec to get that one set up, and we'll get there very, very quickly. And we are back with game number 2 between Magic and Mista spawning the right side of the map. Obviously, we have Magic. He's going in with the Ra this game. And his opponent today in the blue color, playing as Zeus. His name is TheMista. The map is Oasis. An interesting pick here from Mista, going away from his tried and true Odin. He has been very vocal about his displeasure of the power that Zeus has got right now in the current meta, in the current game that we have here. A lot of comments that Poseidon might be the best Greek god, Hades might be the best Greek god, but Zeus has definitely felt that fall from grace here, and he does say that kind of the only reason you want to pick Zeus nowadays is for Hera. Apparently the centaur not strong enough. The town center grabbing into Hephaestus doesn't quite hit the same timings that it used to. And all of these other small things are very, very sad for the Zeus player. But we are seeing Mista going to be giving that Zeus a go in game number 2 here. Already chucking those villagers over onto wood. Oasis is a really interesting one for the Zeus player because it all kind of comes down to how good the second hunt is as to what you want to be trying to do here. And we do see some decent second hunt here. So if Mista can get enough goat in this game, he's going to be in a fantastic position. And that's exactly what we're going to be seeing. Because if you look at what the Ra player's got happening here, Magic's got happening, his Pharaoh scouts this much of the map and he sees the hunt, so he's going to be really happy with seeing the hunt, but he's only found 4 goats. And this is the absolute detrimental part of playing Ra if you don't scout enough, is that the Zeus player is simply just going to get all of the goats. He's going to scout everywhere. He's going to scout his hunt here. He's going to find the herdables. He's going to find the herdables. He's going to find all of these herdables, and that's going to help him really, really succeed with a second town center play. 2 town center play in this matchup seems to be the meta here for the Zeus player, though sometimes you might see a little bit of Athena shenanigans here. Sometimes you see Athena and it's going to be half decent in this game. We do see a relic down the bottom, the System of Bast, negative 10% villager food cost here, and we've also got the Anvil of Hephaestus. These are both kind of S tier relics here. But, well, System of the Bast, maybe not so much. It feels better than it is, but if you go in 2 town centers, it does get a lot more value, I feel. So probably going to see both of those grab. Definitely Anvil Hephaestus is going to come in very, very helpful with that extra 10% off the armory for either player here can be very, very big, especially if you're then getting Forge of Olympus on top of that. That can be absolutely huge. And now we are seeing Mista moving up onto this hunt here. Question is, what is he really going to be going for? He's chucking a 3rd villager onto gold here, so it does kind of indicate to me that he wants to go for the 2 town center. If you're going for gold this early, probably not going to be like that. We do see the temple. The question is, does he want to go Hermes? Does he want to go Athena here? I haven't talked a lot about what Magic's going to be doing here because I think it's fairly obvious what he's going to be doing. He's going to be grabbing the 2nd town center. He probably wants to grab this one. He's got a fantastic gold mine here. Town center, Migdol, gold mine grab with a wall. Going to be very tough for Mista to push off this one here unless he hits a really, really strong Mythic Age Underworld timing with potentially Colossus. Could be a way to go here in order to kill this this location, but it's going to be a tough one for sure for him to do that. We are starting to see some walls getting set up for Magic as he is continuing here. Unfortunately for Magic, hello? Priest empowering a temple. A little bit of a misfortune there, but it does get that one fixed up there as this game is continuing here, and Magic is going through tasks. So no surprises there. Mista, on the other hand, still not advanced just yet, getting out his Jason, wants to get a little bit of pressure onto this location. The early hero against Ra is always really, really good if they've got exposed resources. However, it does slow you down a ton going to the second age, and you can see that Mista's not going to hit the classical age until about 4 404 or something like this, it looks like. Maybe 407. 408? 508? 509? It's very, very late here. It looks like actually Mr. is simply just going for the relic. So he's not even going for the harass here. And he's just going to be happy to play it slow. This is possibly going to be really, really nice for Magic. You can see he's got no wood income just yet. So he's going to grab this town center. And he's got these goat over here that can move over onto this location for him to eat. But he does have to grab that wood later. So this is a bit of a... I would say this is a bit of a dated build order from Magic. It's very, very safe, but it means he has to put these villagers over onto wood in order to get Shadoof, Husbandry, Plow, because he has none of those yet, right? Yeah, he's got none of those, just hunting dogs. So he's not really going to have that extra bonus of food that he's going to gather from the goats just yet, and anything else. But we do see the armory coming down, the walls up, everything happy over here. And as Mr. is going Athena, it's going to be a little bit scary for Magic because Athena does indicate, I mean, Hoplite Doxotes, but there's going to be a town center grab here and saving that restoration for a later date. The Jason going to come in, and sometimes we see this Jason simply just get immediately shifting sanded into the base, but the Pharaoh is here. Pharaoh's got a lot of damage here, and Magic is simply just going to retreat. I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't fight this for a little bit, considering how late Mr. advanced to the classical age. Being that late, you know there's not going to be any Odysseus, so you can just simply fight this one off because you've got the stronger Pharaoh here to just attack the Jason. But he does have a couple of goats here. He's got 7 villagers on the wood trying to get himself Shadoof as fast as possible, and he should be there relatively quickly, though. The priest is feeling a little bit lazy here. Sometimes you get a bit of a bug when you build the lumber camp with the priest empowering that the priest just forgets to do anything, and you know it can be a bit sad. But Mista's gonna actually not go for a second town center here. Mista's going for a 1-1-1. It's been a long time since I've seen this style of Zeus play. This is very, very old. 1-1-1 against Ra, and I think this is all about the forward gold mines here. Mista sees these 2 forward gold mines, and he's going to think, maybe I can get a gold staff here. He's going to go for the 1-1-1 because he's going to need to defend against those chariot archers. The way to continue here correctly is to make sure you get a wall here, a wall here, a wall here, a wall here, and a wall over here. And that way you protect yourself from any raids. You just have to be able to defeat the rock shenanigans, and you'll be in a fantastic position. We do see the wall is coming up here, and Magic's got to know exactly what's coming for him in this game right now. No second town center, 6 minutes and 45 seconds in. He's going to have to have seen these units walking into his base here. The Odysseus being a little bit of a pain. We've got the double walls getting set up onto this location here. Mista's going to realize he's not going to be able to come in onto that spot here. We've got the barracks defending this location, throwing up a watchtower. I love that from Magic, preemptively throwing up that watchtower. Now going to start throwing the farms down. The watchtower does block his farm efficiency here, but it will help out a ton with defending this location, as he is going to be completely fine here. But the question is, this is not all in from Mista technically. He's got a way around this, and we'll see if he's going to be able to make this work, so long as he's going to be able to utilize a good use of restoration here. So we'll see how that's going to go, but Magic's going to be very, very late to the next stage. We even see Magic he's playing so safe here, throwing up another watchtower, making sure that this location here has got no risk of going down. He does not want to lose this gold mine at all. He loses this tower, but he's not going to mind too much about that one there. Though the opening here, very, very real. The opening here is very real for Mista to make a big push in onto this town center and get and take the town center down with a restoration if he gets out enough hoplites. But he did go 1-1-1, obviously, so unless he cuts Hippocon for a little bit, he's not going to really be able to have the massive hoplites he's going to need. And he needs around about 15 to really push in and take down a town center. And once he's got 15, get that medium infantry out and then make a push with restoration. And you should be able to take it down. And because Magic's going so slowly here, he's got no units out. and he hasn't started building any. He's going to be able to cast Rain at some point. Maybe hold off on the Rain, probably not. How's the upgrades going? Still no Plow. Is the Plow coming out? Not yet. Magic, no Plow. Very, very big mistake from Magic. Is now Mista swinging around onto this location. I think this is the wrong location to be attacking here for Mista. I think taking down this town center is going to be much, much easier, but we'll see what's going to happen here. Mista is very smart. So the way that he's going to push in, if he decides to attack this location, is to send the Minotaur first. That's going to let the town center, or force the town center to start attacking the Minotaur, and then he's going to be able to push everything else in afterwards in order to take down these barracks. And he should be able to take down a lot of the barracks in order to trade for that town center damage here, as we are seeing him move in. Oh, can he sneak in? He is totally trying to sneak it. Now you've got to kill the barracks. Mista is going completely nuts here, walking right in onto this location. Do we have crenellations? We do not have crenellations. Mista's got so many units here in this location. He's got 99 population, going to be taking down the watchtower. We see some mercenary coming out. The mercenary are no good just yet, but the Minotaur is just about to fall here as the Pharaoh is going to take that one down. We've even got medium infantry on this location. How many hoplite? We've got 9 hoplite going after these villages, completely nullifying this rain from Magic, and Magic is building nothing in this game here so far. The villagers pop out of the town, so I'm going to try and fend this one off for the time being. Magic, he's got 4 farms getting grabbed here during this rain. The villagers all chilling inside the town center. He's going to keep popping in and out. Mista's going to keep fighting this one off. He's just waiting out the rain before he can restoration here. More units flooding in for Mista here as these villagers just keep dropping in and out. He's trying to fend this one off, but it's probably just not going to work here, as these hoplites from Zeus are going to be so very strong. There's the shifting sands into the base of Magic, and Magic is going to be trying to force this one out, but Mista uses restoration here. No, don't want to use restoration. These units are going to be able to get away from this, but at what cost? Magic is almost able to advance. He is going up through Hathor, but the problem is here, where does Magic get gold? He doesn't need to get gold just yet. He can go everything onto this wood line, or this wood line at the back here, and be okay. And he is going to go straight after this town center. There's no reason to not rush this town center down here. How many hoplites has he got? He's got 10 hoplites. You can easily take the town center down at this in this location. We are seeing the town center sneakily target down those Toxotes in the back, but all the villagers currently jumping onto the berry bushes here, as Mista is going to be able to clean this town center up. But Magic, he's not going to give up that easily here. He's going to be able to get the market up. He's going to the next stage. It's a very, very late heroic age here, obviously from the pressure that Mista has put on at this point. But we do see the town center going down. These barracks will all get cleaned up, and Magic is going to need to go in with a pure chariot army in this game. If he can manage to make this work, it's going to be another one of those crazy comebacks that we've seen Magic do time and time again. There's the Hathor, there's the market. He doesn't quite have enough resources just yet in order to get the Migdol out. So we'll see what he's going to do with that one. He's definitely can't put it out in the open, because Mista can simply just rush that down with those hoplites. The question is, what's Mista doing right now? He is going for a second town center, getting that one up. He's getting his 3rd town center actually here. So he's thinking, got to stay in the classical age here. One thing I actually would have preferred here from Mista, maybe would have been slightly more optimal, is he had enough food with the rest of these goats to get to the heroic age. If he gets to the heroic age, he can then throw everything onto gold and then buy a mythic age through Hera, and then all the chariot archers that Magic buys are going to get lightning stormed when they start pushing out, and you can easily just hold off with the Bellerophon and the Medusa at that point with all of the army that you've got currently out. But he hasn't gone for that, and instead he's just gone for the safe route, going for those 3 town centers, getting the big boom happening. When you're ahead, get more ahead, as they always say. But now Magic here is going to start slowly but surely selling wood and just living the dream here with his chariot, camelries, and everything else. 63 population for Magic, Mr. 106 population. He's cutting all of the production here. It's just making the Hippocons. So it is looking like maybe Magic's going to be able to get to the heroic age after all, and he will be able to do so if he just cuts a villager or something. But he's almost out of the herdables here, just 70 food left. And again, this is what I was talking about at the start of the game. Can't give your opponent all these herdables if you play Ra, And here we go, able to advance. Probably going to go through Apollo here just to make sure he can come up to the top of the map, the bottom of the map, and the middle of the map. Make sure he can secure those locations. Still no walls from Mista here, which is a bit of a surprise. And we do see Apollo. We're starting to see the farms coming out for Mista. Villagers coming over onto wood, and he's going to have to just slowly transition into the... into those farms. We see plow coming through, so all the good things. Raids coming in for Magic here. He's going to be looking for a locust. Mista has separated his villages fairly decent here onto all these different locations, so it's probably not going to be a brutal game-ending locust here, as Mista's playing around that very, very nicely. We do see the cavalry coming in, going to snipe a villager or two here. Nice play, but right now Magic can make a little bit of a move out onto this gold mine here if he so chooses, because right now Mista has to chase around the units because he didn't set those walls up. Big mistake here. The Batsukos is in on this location, just currently chilling here, just being like, what's going on? I just going to make this town center completely idle here, and it's going to be fine. We see the Hippocon chasing these chariots, the cavalry's away, as Magic is just looking for some avenue to attack here. More chariot archers grouping up on this location. We see the Apollo coming through for Mista, as he's got a very, very strong foothold on this game. Meanwhile, the Hippocon pushing through here. We see the Locust. Oh, I love this Locust from Magic. This Locust here is actually really, really painful for Mista, because he's going to lose the majority of these farms, and that's a lot of wood here that Mista's going to want to be using for something else, like fortified town centers, like masons, like archers, like a fortress, all the other good things. But while that's going on, Mista catches Magic's army out here. Really, really nice play from Mista. He's continuously getting further and further ahead in this game. Magic does get his second town center back, but Mista's in such a good position right now. All he has to do is convert in this point. He's got the Manticore here as well. Absolutely brutal myth unit to have at this stage of the game, because Magic doesn't really have any answer to it. He needs basically mass Batsukos here, and he's got no gold income. As how much is this selling for right now? He's selling 100 wood for 46 gold, and now the villagers are moving over here onto this large gold mine. We don't have shaft mine for Magic, as Mista is cleaning everything up over here very, very nicely. We see the Wadget coming out right now for Magic, and he's very, very struggling right now. But we'll see if the Wadget spam is going to be enough. Sometimes the Wadgets can be very underutilized and very, very strong if you can get enough of them out. But now we are seeing those Hippocon coming in onto this location. Magic should be able to start making some more cavalry here at this point, but the villagers getting pulled off. Does he have Skin of the Rhino? No Skin of the Rhino, but the Hippocon are going to get pushed away from here, as Mista is kind of fumbling this fight just a little bit. Nice micro from Magic, as these Wadgets are starting to come out onto like more of a mass here, but the Jason is here. He's going to be causing a little bit of a nuisance here for this Wadget. Does manage to snipe one, as the villager's going to be chasing this one down, sniping that one off. And the Manticore still pushing in, trying to take down these chariots, doing some very, very nice damage here. The Toxotes all falling, and Magic manages to hold for the time being, throwing up a siege works on this location. Somehow Magic is alive. What's Mista's plan, though? Is he going to the next stage? He's got his market up. He's got some more military buildings coming through here, chucking up the archery range, making more Toxotes. Bit of a surprise to see Toxotes at this point in the game. Normally, we wait a little bit longer for the Toxotes in this matchup. He's making some Peltast. Oh, Mista's making Peltast, the one unit that he says is completely useless. He's going to be making it in this game. He's like, I'm going to make it because you're making pure chariots. I'm making my Peltast. No need to micro if you've got no units to boot here. As we see him pushing in nice micro yet again from Magic, as Magic is simply put just trying to micro his way back into this game. And we'll see if he's going to be able to do it. Siege works coming up. We see Migdol Stronghold coming down to try and secure this town center. Mista is possibly going to be fully popped villager-wise here, whereas Magic is just simply fully popped here, not fully popped villager-wise. But he will get this Migdol up very, very quickly here. I actually wouldn't mind him trying to sneak the town center first at this point, because his army is currently getting chased down. But these Peltas, they just die so quickly to the chariot archers. Nice micro yet again from Magic, continuously sniping off units. There's the heavy chariots as well. Absolutely huge in these fights, but the Manticore are out. So there's a good amount of defense right now for these chariot archers here. Now Magic's got the Migdol up. He's going to feel comfortable trying to take this town center for himself. He's got a lot of villagers here. 9 villagers plus the Pharaoh town center. He's going to shoot up very, very fast here. But Mista is just about to click up. He's got he's very close to the next stage. You can even sell some of that food for some gold here. It does sell decently well at 60-ish, and there we go. He's going up through Hephaestus. No risky play here. No Hera. Just wants to make sure he's got a very solid late game. Here we see these villagers coming up onto this location. Mista's going to try and wall this off over here, holding on to this location here as the villagers moving here onto the lumber camp. Going to hold on to this one the best that they can, but these villagers should get this wall up, and controlling the corners here in this matchup, very important. Very, very important indeed. And now we see the Hippocon. They're going to actually move up to the top of the map because Mista does see Magic's villagers. This is going to be an absolutely brutal raid. This tree line here is actually completely safe, basically, for Magic, and Magic is going to be retreating here. Sees that one coming, but meanwhile, the fight happening over here, Mista decides he has to retreat as the units mass from Magic is just a little bit too much. And wonder how far Magic is from the next stage. He's getting himself fortified town centers. He needs to get to Osiris as fast as he possibly can here. Otherwise, the Colossus will come. The Heliopolis will come. And it's going to be really hard for him to defend those two units with basically pure chariots here. Do we see a fortress up for Mista? We do not see the fortress up for Mista. Do we have enough resources? Yes, we have enough favor here for Forge of Olympus. So that's going to be absolutely huge. So he's going to get those armory upgrades very quickly. And once he gets those, he's going to be so ridiculously far in front of Magic in this game. But Magic pushing in. Let's just looking to take a fight here. Ooh, nice little splash damage there by those Manticore from Mista. And he just pulls away, gets the damage done, pulls away. And now Magic is going to be looking to push forward here as Mista is trying to bide his time. He's got that timing he talks about. He's got that timing. He needs to get those those Forge of Olympus, those upgrades up, those armory upgrades up in order to really feel comfortable fighting the Ra army at this point. Look at that splash damage there from the Manticore. So much damage. Really nice play. The Plenty Vault does come down in the base here. We've got an immediate Forge of Olympus coming through, and I wouldn't be surprised to see immediate Bellerophon out as well. There it is, coming through for Mista and Magic. He is trying to push in here, but this is the defensive location that Mista has spammed out here. We've got the Colossus coming in. That's going to be able to tank those Chariot Archers really, really nicely. The Peltas, in their classic fashion, targeting down a cavalry because that's what they do naturally. They don't target the Chariot Archers, but as soon as they start microing, Magic does decide to get that retreat coming in, trying to snipe down some more units here, going after the hoplites, but the Peltas now finally getting the value that they were designed for. Going to completely decimate this Chariot Archer army, and Magic is really, really struggling to continue in this game, making Chariot Archers cavalry, and that's about it. Tons of villagers on this gold mine. The gold mine is almost out at this point, but now Bellerophon is through. Bellerophon is such a difficult unit to deal with if you don't have cavalry or spearmen for the Egyptian player. If you basically just have maybe like Elephant Chariot Archer, can be so hard to kill the Bellerophon. He jumps in, he kills your myth units, he just leaves, and you feel sad. He jumps in, and your Chariot Archers start targeting him. He starts running away, and you miss all of those shots. Very, very sad. So we'll see how this is all going to go as Mista is simply just biding his time. Look at this wall. This wall is absolutely hilarious here from Magic, blocking in this location. Here is the market trying to come up, and Mista is setting up military academies up in the top corner, making sure that no market is created, no efficient market is created for Magic here. But Mista still hasn't started his own market just yet. Obviously, he's just trying to get those upgrades coming through. He's getting them right now with copper weapons. He's got a lot of resources in the bank. How is his armory's upgrades looking? He's got copper mail, copper shields, and there's the Bellerophon flying in. Champion infantry has come through. He's making Myrmidon now. Oh, dearie me, Myrmidon, such an obnoxiously strong unit at this point in the game with no Axeman out. Basically forces Magic to have to tech switch into Axeman, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it. Keeps on managing to bait the Bellerophon jump, though. I'm not sure if there's like a way he's doing that, but Bellerophon coming in, going to be able to tank a lot of damage here. There's the Osiris for Magic, somehow, some way, managing to get the Osiris out. And the Osiris is going to be able to take down the Colossus very, very quickly here. But the Bellerophon has got his eyes set here onto the I thought it was onto the Son of Osiris, but he decides to jump on the Cavalry here. But here we go. Bellerophon does go down. Mista's army is getting pushed back, and Magic is still managing to hold on in this game as the mummy's coming through. And Magic is just, what is this game right now? Chariot Archer's pushing back here. Still, he's got copper weapons, but that's about it. Mista has got full bronze here with Champion Myrmidon. These units are so ridiculously strong. The economy from Mista is huge. He does need to start thinking about that trade route, though. With 1,500 food in the bank, that's the natural progression here. This mummy here needs to get sniped by the Odysseus here. The Son of Osiris will get a ton of damage done, but the Myrmidon, they tank so much with 55% hack armor right now with all their upgrades. They're only taking about 30 damage a shot. A little bit less from the Son of Osiris here, so he can simply just bum rush that Son of Osiris if he so chooses. And now we are seeing the Son of Osiris trying to target down the enemy Odysseus here, but the Myrmidon chasing the Son of Osiris away as Magic is trying to trade efficiently here, but it's so hard for him. He's got next to no gold in the bank. His economic upgrades, no shaft mine. It's fine to not have quarry, but you cannot be playing this game with no shaft mine. That's why he's got no gold in the bank with 30 villagers on gold. 128 population to Mista's 152 population here. Meanwhile, up at the top of the map, I'm not sure if he sees this or not, but these military academies are basically all set up, and it is just looking like there's the Bellerophon coming through. Iron Shields comes through as well for Mista. He's got so many upgrades here as the Heracles coming through, going to bash the Son of Osiris down as he retreats back into the town center here, and there is no population left for Magic. 115 population here, next to no gold. The Toxotes coming through, taking everything down. Axemen are starting to come out now for Magic, but for him to trade efficiently, he basically needs champion Axemen and equivalent armory upgrades, because the champion Myrmidon just completely destroyed them anyways. 70 HP. Decent hack armor, but 70 HP. Still going to die in a couple of shots, even though the Axemen deal roughly the same damage to the Myrmidon. And we see them coming back in as Magic he's still trying to fight, but I'm not seeing him doing anything special over here in terms of side builds. Just trying to hold on. We see the villagers pulling off the gold mine now, and Magic does end up tapping out here in the 23rd minute of this game. GG. Well played by Mista, winning game number 2 here, leveling the series. Apparently, I didn't put the score up. Let's go ahead and fix that one because I'm good at this. Let's fix that up. We've got the game for Mista and a game for Magic. Leveling the series 1-1. Really nice play from Mista. I love the aggressive Zeus play here, coming in, pushing off this town center. Very, very nice play. The 1-1-1, haven't seen that in a very long time. Worked a treat in this game for Mista, and that all came down to simply all of the hurtables, essentially, that Mista got, which Magic didn't. If Magic had gotten some of those hurtables, he probably would have been able to get to the heroic edge a little bit faster, been a little bit easier of a game for him, but nothing happened of that, and that was the game. Well played. We'll move on to game number 3 very, very shortly. If you are enjoying this one, do consider hitting the follow, and we'll just get that next game going very, very quickly. And we are back with game number 3 here of this best of 5 show match. In the left side of the map, we do have Magic spawning as Isis here. His opponent today in the right-hand side of the map in the blue color playing as Odin. It is TheMista. Will we be seeing a similar situation that we saw in game number 3 here with the Anubis versus Freya classical fight where Magic managed to completely run over Mista's Odin? Or will Mista go for something different, Magic go for something different? It is a completely different map. We've got a lot of goats getting grabbed here early for Mista. This is very important against Isis, against the Anubis, but more importantly, Rhinoceros in the home base, very, very nice. Magic, he's got Rhinoceros over here as well. Pretty decent little start for both players here. Throwing villagers over onto the gold nice and quickly, as it's going to be looking like early monuments, early temple potentially. The priest going to be scouting around, going to throw up that initial obelisk here. Let's check the map out just a little bit. He finds his hunt with the first obelisk. Magic navigating the difficulties of ISIS incredibly well in this series thus far. The first game, obviously, Tundra, a little bit less of an issue with the consistency factor. But on Savannah, if you only scout with the Priest, a lot of the time you can miss this second hunt here. So finding that second hunt is going to be huge. We've also got the Eye of Horus here. Combine that with the ISIS unique population bonus, and you can get yourself plus 15 extra population on your opponent with this technology, which that's ridiculous. Did I do the math right then? I feel like I didn't. It must be right. Plus 15 population, you get plus 9, plus 6. Absolutely insane. We'll see how this is going to go. And Mista pumping the units out. He's still in the same build order as last game, or the first game, I should say. So we'll see how it's going to go. Monument to the Village is coming up. We've also got this relic on the bottom of the map. The Mithril Horseshoes. The Mithril Horseshoes. Both relics here, very, very good for each respective player. Obviously, Eye of Horus is good for anyone. But Eye of Horus with Isis is just like, oh, I'm just basically a town center in front of my opponent. It's not fortified, but I do have a town center more in terms of population. So we'll see how that's going to affect this game, if it affects this game at all. I'm honestly surprised that Magic wouldn't just move his Pharaoh out to make sure he grabs that. Oh, the Villager almost going down. He's going to be making a run for it, and he does get stuck. Oh, that was so close. 5 HP was so close to falling. Magic manages to, the Magic's Villager manages to live another day. My golly gosh. You see the villagers dumping this hunt into the granary, doing all the good stuff here. As Mr. is simply just enjoying life. 6 villagers on food. And he goes for the Forward Temple again. It looks like Mister's been taking a page out of Soup's book. Now, the thing about, look, from my perspective, from playing a lot of ISIS classical fights or Egyptian classical fights with Norse and against Norse on vanilla, the Forward Temple from Norse players tends to lose to the ISIS classical fight. But the Forward Temple from the Odin players tends to beat any sort of fast heroic shenanigans. So you're kind of playing a game of, will my opponent scout this out or not? And if we check it out, yet again, Magic manages to barely spot this temple. So we'll see if that's going to mean that Magic wants to go for Anubis here, go for a really strong classical fight, or what. He is moving up to the top of the map over here, going to be grabbing onto these giraffe as fast as he can. He is going to grab this relic as well, very, very smartly so. Got to get that one. Super good. And he is just about to advance. Just needs to finish this temple up, and he'll be able to go up. He's got the 2 monuments. Still, there's the Anubis, so no surprises there. As Mista is thinking about, or getting his houses up. So we will be seeing the classical fight yet again from Magic. And Mista is going to have to figure out what to do differently here. He did take some pretty questionable fights. He lost an early villager. And really the advantage for Norse in this matchup is mobility. So you need to run around the map, put your houses in your base. That's the most important thing. If you can put your houses in your base, that means that there's no real avenue for the ISIS player to get value out of their army apart from taking down your longhouses, which you don't care too much about because that's giving you time. But we'll see how this is going to go. We see the Valkyrie moving up to the top of the map here, going to be trying to push off of this hunt as Magic is happily eating it here. And we'll see how that's going to go. If Magic can get to the next age fast enough, the Pharaoh should be able to prevent this Valkyrie from doing all too much here. But sometimes we have been seeing Magic simply just calmly retreating on these locations. We do see the Valkyrie going straight after the Pharaoh, and Magic's like, I want this relic, I'm going to leave. And he does. Oh, no, he's decided to turn around and fight here. But as soon as the Valkyrie turns around, she stops taking damage. So that'll be fine. There's the backs going up. There's only 4 giraffe here. The question is, how much hunt is down here? He's got a little bit of gazelle. It's a bit of a low hunt savannah if I've ever seen one, as Mista's going to be making his way over onto this hunt. But given that it's a low hunt savannah, that means that Magic's got to realize that he has to, that basically Mista has to be on the giraffe. He could be on gazelle, but he basically has to be on the giraffe at this point. So he realizes that they're going to be somewhere in this line on the map. If you look it up, somewhere in this line on the map. So just about here. So he should be able to find those relatively quickly here. and be okay. We do see Axeman, Spearman coming out of one barracks here as we're seeing that second barracks coming down very quickly here. Another Anubite coming out. All the Anubites coming out. Did he get Feet of the Jackal? No, he didn't. No upgrades for the Anubites just yet. Just going to be going standard here thus far as Mista is trying to put some pressure on. I would like to see him start targeting down the barracks here with these units. He's got the advantage at this point with 58 supply compared to Magic's 44. So slight advantage here. And though the Anubites are very, very big here in these fights, see a little bit of a attack onto this location. Is the Hearse going to clean that one up? More houses coming up for Mista. And he's going to keep pushing back, pushing in, pushing back. I think he's a little bit scared about the early fight considering how poorly it went for him in the first game. But thus far, he hasn't lost any villages. And the Anubites kind of going blindly in for raids. And there's Prosperity coming down for Magic. What does he want out of this? Maybe he's getting Feet of the Jackal. But I'm not exactly sure what the Prosperity is for, apart from maybe a second talent center at this point. Could be an option here for Magic, as Mista is just simply jockeying back and forward here with these units, not ready to fight, not ready to do all too much. The Anubites moving in here, just dodging attacks, making sure that Mista is keeping his toes kind of in the water and not cheating any kind of fast heroic or something like that. Though the fast heroic in this situation would probably be really good. It would probably be really good if he can get heroic here. But he basically just cut all of this production here and go heroic age. And because Magic's done nothing thus far, he should be okay with that. He should be okay. He gets the frost. He gets some good pressure onto his opponent. The hunt's out. So maybe Magic has to start farming here. Do we see a second town center from Magic? No. What's the gold getting spent on? Not a lot. Not a lot. Villagers retreating back. Forest fire comes down here. This is a brutal forest fire from Mista. He forces the villagers back, cuts them off here. The Pharaoh does manage to get back into the temple there with the High of Horus. There's the Plague of Serpents is now. Mista simply just has to run. He's been in this situation before. The Nubites jumping in. Mista going to take a lot of damage here, losing a lot of units as those Plague of Serpents do so much damage. The Nubites can chase him down, and Mista is on the back foot here. Mista is on the back foot. Magic, yet again, managing to maneuver that. Really, really nice decision making for Magic there, as it kind of looked like there was a potential for him to get sandwiched in onto that forest fire, but it didn't manage to happen that way, as the Anubites now going to be looking around yet again for some more raids, as Mista is going to be trying to dodge that. Nice dodge with that raiding cavalry. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but now the Guardian Anubites going to be moving away. We do have double Valkyries out here for Mista, as he's going to chase those Anubites around the map and make sure he doesn't lose too many villages. He's even leaving the Hearse over here onto this location to make sure he doesn't lose any villages here. But now, problem for Mista is, this is a problem that Norse players will be all too familiar with. Not being able to get to the heroic age before farming. This is such a big deal here. Such a big deal. We can see Mista is actually gearing up to get the farms with 10 villages on wood here. The Nubites moving in. The villagers going to be cheekily moving forward here. I'm not sure exactly where they're going. Maybe going to try and sneak a wood line on the corner of the map. Meanwhile, we see another fight coming in onto this location here, as Mista's got the medium upgrades for his raiding cavalry. He's ready to start taking this fight. The Nubites not in this fight really, as it's looking like Mista is able to clean this up very, very nicely. This game is very, very different to that first game. And now we see the armory coming through for Magic. Magic, he's got a lot of gold in the bank. He will have to start farming fairly soon. These villagers over here are going to be eating this zebra. We see the Anubites running straight through Mista's base. Not going to be able to do all too much. Lots of gold left. 600 gold in the gold mine. But again, the problem for Mista is, where is his food going to come from? It's going to have to be farms. See the Anubites going to come in, try and get a cheeky raid here. Nice retreat micro there from Mista, not taking any damage from these guys, as the Valkyrie is going to simply chase these guys around here. Nice little damage from Magic yet again, but the Valkyries are going to start being a little bit of a pain here. All beautiful raid from Magic. Is going to keep running around here, taking down these dwarves. Got to retreat them into the tower. He's not done so at all, and he's just getting super value here in Mista's base. Really, really nice play from Magic, as he's going to just chill in here for ages. getting so much damage done. Basically, I feel like what Mista should be doing here is separating these villagers on the wood line over here and over here. That way, or maybe even just garrisoning everything and letting the Valkyries chase these Nubites out of his base, because given they can jump around and do all that stuff, it's completely brutal and disgusting. And right now, Mista can't do anything. He's got nowhere to attack, but he does have this location to attack, and Mista sees it. Or senses it? Mista senses it? No, he doesn't sense it. He should know that 10 minutes is roughly when the gold mine does come down. Funnily enough, I actually think that Mista's army here wins this fight with all of his Valkyries here. And if he simply just attacks this location with all of his army and maybe even just brings the villagers back into the main base here, or kind of just hides them, he can kind of go for a bit of an all-in. But we'll see how it's going to go. We do see these Anubites going to be leaving back home. Nice little micro here from this Anubite, going to be splitting those up. Just leave one Valkyrie chasing each Anubite might be the way to go here. Meanwhile, Mista is thinking about starting to move in. He's got even more Guardian Anubites. Magic's got 6 Guardian Anubites right now. Magic moving in. Mista moving in. Mista deciding, nope, can't fight this one just yet. Needs to get those Valkyries in here. Still no farms up. We do see the villagers moving up onto the berry bushes over here as the Anubites returning back into Mista's base, causing so much chaos here, so much damage. These Anubites just so difficult for an Odin player to deal with their jumpiness. They're so jumpy, deal so much damage, so obnoxious. And Mista is able to pick these 2 Anubites off. That's going to be huge for him. But the question is, does he have a big enough army right now? And I think the answer is yes. He needs to pull the trigger here. He's lost a lot of time here in this game. Lost a lot of villagers, and we do see the Anubites. Are they going over here? No, they're not. They're not going to see this, but the dwarf, or they might see the dwarves though. The dwarves coming onto this gold mine. The Anubites moving straight in. He does spot the villagers. Will he notice? It looks like he didn't notice. No, he did notice. He's going straight onto these villagers over here. Maybe you have to turn around and, oh God, he's going to be trying to make a retreat. And now Mista says, I got to go. And he's pushing in, going to try and take this down. Where are the villagers? Losing so many villagers over here. Going to try and surround that Pharaoh. Nice micro here from Mista to take the Pharaoh down. The Valkyries, he's only got 2 Valkyries in on this fight right now, but the villagers pulled off of the gold mine. The villagers trying to take this fight nicely. Meanwhile, the raids still going on to those villagers in Mista's base here, and Mista is losing so many units here. 98 population for Magic. Mista is on 79 population. The Valkyries almost all falling, and Mista does not manage to get the damage that he wanted to deal here in this fight. The medium axeman, medium spearman, a Nubite army from Magic, too strong, and Mista has to pull back. But the Anubites are still going to town on Mista's economy, and Mista taps out in the 12th minute and 57-second mark. We have seen it 2 times thus far in this series. The Anubis versus Odin is so ridiculously strong in this game. You have to get walls up. You have to secure your gold mines. I feel like Mista had enough time. He put the pressure on. He had enough time to get these walls up here. Make sure your base is really nice and defensive, and get heroic age. That's the answer here. If you can't get heroic age, you're just going to throw it away. You're just going to lose the game because of these raids on your second gold mine, because it's so hard to defend against this. But GG, well played by Magic. What's more to say? That's going up to 2 wins for Magic right now. He's 1 point away from taking this series and effectively leveling the overall series at 7 apiece. We'll see if we can do it. Move on to game number 4 very shortly. Thanks for hanging out with me and having a good time. And we are back with game number 4. Game number 4. What a time to be alive. The map is Marsh, spawning on the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Set. His name is Magic. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Loki. His name is TheMista. Yes, the map is Marsh, and yes, we see Loki. We see Loki versus Set on Marsh. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm surprised to see Mista going in with the Loki. He had a lot of success with his Greek. And he's going in with the Loki. He's liking the Norse. The map is Marsh. Marsh is a really, really strong Norse map. The question is Marsh a strong Norse map or is it a strong set map? Because it's a strong both of these gods map here. We are seeing Magic throwing a lot of villagers over onto food here. This is not how I recommend to play set in this matchup at all anymore. The 4-minute build order for set is the big key to guaranteeing a strong showing on this map. You can still go for Anubis, but against Loki, definitely just go 4 minutes and you'll be fine. 3 villages wood, 3 villages food, 2 villages gold, and then you put 8 villages onto food after that, or not 8, you go up to 8 villages, and then you decide, are you going second town center or are you going classical fire? If you go classical fire, you can put onto wood, get yourself husbandry, get yourself pickaxe. If you're going for a town center, you just put everything over onto gold and get the town center up at 4 minutes. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Absolutely insane. Anyways, that's not what Magic did. Relics on the map, we do have the Ship of Fingernails, extra 24 free food a minute here. We've also got the Pandora's Box being a very, very fast mid-unit training time. And we've got the final relic. Oh no, there's another one as well. We've got the Mythical Horseshoes again. Love that relic. And finally, the Canopic Jar of Imseti. So getting that negative 15% infantry training time. I'm going to see if that's going to be any good in this game or not. And we'll see how this is going to go. The Skrelling moving around, doing its thing. As the villagers popping out, more houses coming up for Magic, just making this very, very defensive location here. There is a world in which Heimdall works here for Magic, but for Mista, but you know, you have to be crazy like Soup in order to go for those sorts of plays. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mista just go straight in for Seti Hursa, going for raiding cavalry and Hursa and shenanigans. We do see the Crocodile of Set has been converted here. This is a very, very weird unit to go after, to be honest, for Magic. Let's see where his priest is currently residing. He's coming over here eating those water buffaloes. Much more sense to get the water buffalo. The crocodile is really strong. 4.9 attack, 58 HP, decent pierce armor. So it is really strong early game, but it's super slow. Doesn't give you the scouting information. It takes a long time to convert. No food to really eat from, 150 food to eat from it. But the water buffalo, much, much better. And he is onto those now. And there's the temple coming up. For Mista, villagers deciding to sit idle for a little bit as he needs to get those sorted out. And he wants to advance. And there we go. He's getting an extra dwarf. And the village is coming over onto the wood now. So we'll see what he's going to go for here. He's probably going to click up for Seti with the back temple like this. Kind of got an exposed gold mine here as well. A little bit of a late advance time from Mr. Magic. On the other hand, he's going through Ptah. And it is looking like a second town center here. This is interesting. This is not what I expect in this matchup at all. Not at all. Second town center here. He's got kind of limited hunt, but he is set, so set has infinite hunt if you can manage to keep your priest alive and converting. So it's fine. You've always got safe hunt. We do see the gold villagers coming over now to another location. Where is he going? Oh, he's going for the middle of the map. He's going for the middle of the map, so we'll see how that's going to go. That will give him access to a couple of these water buffalo. And Mista's going to have to work out how does he hit the timing to get this victory here. As Forseti is coming through, houses coming down, villagers here for Mista going to be retreating back into his base, just playing overly cautious here. Makes sense that he's going to be doing this because you got to be careful about the shifting sands and all the other stuff. Stay near towers. Make sure nothing happens. There's the hyena of Set here coming in and getting out. And Magic does not look like he's going for anything like that. He does have the barracks coming out straight away first. Just being nice and safe as he's trying to get the town center up. A bit of an interesting decision here. This isn't what we see at all. Normally we see the town center first and then a barracks. But, you know, it is what it is. Magic leaving 5 villagers on gold, a bunch of villagers over on food, absolutely standard here. And Mista is simply just going to get his Hursa out. So really the question is, what can Mista do against 2 town centers with Loki on this map? And the answer is, you don't have to worry about Anubites because you're Loki. But you do have to worry about a lot of other stuff. So things like Scorpion Men raids, just normal raids, a big timing push with Axeman, Spearman, Siege Tower, things like that with Ancestors, Horus timings, all that other good stuff. So really, the best way forward here for Mista is to try and get value out of these Hersa, looking for small little raids, hitting these villages over here, attacking this location, leaving, attacking this location, just getting favor around the map, not really looking to kill anything unless it's very obvious you can get the kills. But more importantly, what Mista's going to need to do here is hit a very, very strong heroic timing or very, very strong mythic timing. One of those two things. Magic does decide to cast the vision here onto... Oh, is this going to be a villager rush? No, he's just going straight after the villagers here. Going to pick off all of these villagers. They're completely stuck. What a play here from Magic. The delayed Shifting Sands attack here gets 2 villagers, 3 villagers, 4 villager kills here for Magic at 6 minutes and 15 seconds into the game. Incredibly good play from Magic. He's in a fantastic position thus far in the game, and he's going to just be able to sit inside of Mista's base for a good hot minute right now as Mista has to retreat away. He can move over onto these water buffalo, but is more likely just going to start eating his pigs here, as that's exactly where Mista's going to go. And Mista's got to be kicking himself right now for allowing that to happen. As soon as the vision was cast on his base, he should have ran those units back onto the straggler trees, because that was such a good play there from Magic. We do see the Ship of Fingernails has been picked up for Mista. He's got those Hersa out, going to be looking for something to attack here, going after the Axeman, but there is a Priest already here going to be able to deal with that Troll very quickly, as the Troll does end up going down. Nice play. We do see the Hersa going to start surrounding these Axemen. Don't run. You can't run from this. There's only 3 Axemen. You absolutely win this fight. Have to micro, though. Not happening very well at all here. But he does manage to pick off the majority of these units here. The Pharaoh gets taken out. The Animals of Set getting taken out. And it's going to be completely fine here for Mista so far. But he is moving up onto the Water Buffalo over here. He's got Water Buffalo and Hippopotamus. But the Axemen are all out right now for Magic. So the question right now for Mista is, does he go in with raiding cavalry, which is what he's doing, or does he just cut units and go heroic age, go mythic age? Fimbulwinter, timing attack with flaming weapons could have been an option here, but he decides against that one. And considering he didn't really know the Axeman route, but it's kind of the thing you want to try if your opponent makes Axeman. They don't really have much value in terms of anything apart from defending the Hersa. So you simply just don't attack. Simple. Absolutely simple. But there's the armory coming down now for Magic. And the Healing Spring comes through for Mista as he wants to keep those low HP units alive, getting them back up. We do see there's that cheeky raid here onto the granary, and Magic does decide to delete that one. He can go after this gold situation here, but the Axemen are already in here. There's the spy onto here. It's 1,400 gold left on this location here, as Mista now pushing in on the other side, going to make sure he's trying to prevent this location from getting grabbed. But Mista will actually spot some villagers here. He spots him. Is he paying attention, though, is the question. He is paying attention, but so is Magic. And Magic going to instantly retreat. We'll see how many villagers Mista can get. He gets a Valkyrie spawn. Absolutely huge. It's probably going to allow him to get 2 or 3 villagers here as Magic is retreating away. Nice play from Mista. Gets 2 villager kills there. He's kind of leveling that out, but obviously Magic does have the 2 town centers here. So he's in a really, really good spot as Mista is getting pushed away. And we'll see what's happening. Mista is looking like he's trying to get to the next age. A couple of idle villagers over here onto the food. He does have these hippopotamus, and he does know about it. Needs to move over onto that location there. He will be running out of this gold mine very soon, though, so has to move up onto this gold mine. So that's going to be a little bit of a difficult situation there. If Magic can hit a timing there on that gold mine, it's going to be brutal. But does he know about it? That's the question. He does know it's there, so we'll see if he's going to be aware of that timing or not. Meanwhile, Hippopotamus getting eaten. His Mista still building units. He is still building units, but just raiding cavalry. as he's going to have to deal with the Spearman Axeman army of Magic. And Mista is trying to circle around here. You don't really want to take this fight. Just trying to get a little bit of chip damage here and there. That's a nice choice. You have to get something to do with the army. And there's the Heroic Age coming through, going through Bragi. No surprises here. But will Bragi be enough is the question. Nice little chip damage dunk. Going to keep retreating away. Bruce get a little volley off against those Valkyries. He's getting out of here. And Mista knows that he really just doesn't want to fight, though he is leading the army to his villages here. And he's going to be moving elsewhere. We'll see where these units are going to go. He can easily move in and hit this location. Classic soup fashion is if you're getting pushed in one spot, just leave it and then attack your opponent elsewhere with Loki. But the villagers are going to get surrounded here. This is exactly what we were talking about, that kind of timing here. But it was supposed to be on the gold mine, but it does hit those villagers. The villagers are going to be trying to make a retreat back. He does a couple of deer left. The dwarves coming up onto this gold mine over here. And where are Mista's units here? The villagers moving forward here, going to try and grab these water buffalo. The villagers are falling slowly, but again with the axeman, it's a bit slow. Doesn't do all too much. Does pick one villager off, two villagers off, but Mista will be able to get away from here fairly easily, as now the raid coming in onto this location here. Magic going to be retreating away. Mista, is he paying attention? Not really paying attention. The villagers do manage to get away from this nice reaction from Magic thus far. Bragi is through right now for Mista though, so we'll see what he's going to be able to do with this. The axemen are coming through onto this location. We've got the double longhouse down. No upgraded units just yet. Is Magic going to the next age himself? No, he's got tons of gold in the bank though, so that's going to be a lot of priests he can build in order to defend against those battle boar and myth unit spawns that come through by the Herser. And now Magic has found the gold situation over here while Mista is going after these units. I feel like it would be worth for Mista to just retreat back and slay this entire army with the flaming weapons here, but that's not quite what we're seeing just yet, as the axemen are doing so much damage. Mista trying to retreat right now in order to come back and help defend himself, but the spearmen getting so much damage onto the dwarves retreating away, but they're retreating away from the army that's coming here to try and defend them. What is Mista trying to do here? It's no market, no anything, just trying to get full population, it seems. These dwarves now coming over here onto this gold mine, the spearman going after the ox cart. Really, really obnoxious play here from Magic. If he can take that down, that basically stunts the gold income from Mista for quite some time. Meanwhile, the battle board trying to take this town center down, but the army reaction there from Magic is enough. And these axemen over here do look like they're getting sniped as the villagers moving forward, going to try and eat the water buffalo in the middle of the map. And while Mr. Score is in front, it is seeming like Magic is defending fairly nicely, but maybe the kill loss is actually not that good thus far. But Mista, he needs to get that gold economy starting as he's still building dwarves. He's putting all of these villages here onto this location. Is Magic going to the next stage? He's just about to click up. Does he have an armory up? He's got the armory up. Can click up. He should go through Nephthys here, get an immediate funeral rites, and he should be completely fine. Oh, he's going segment. No, he's going Nephthys. Just such an ISIS player. The portrait for Nephthys is on the other side that you're not used to if you play ISIS. So Magic does notice that here. As the raiding cavalry are out, we still need to see some more Herser coming through for Mista if he wants to get this value out. He's not making any. He's basically full raiding cavalry, no upgrades, 100 favor in the bank, really no battle boar out thus far. And this is going to be very, very tough here for Mista to get the value out, but we'll see what he's going to be able to do with this. And the priests are here, and he might have the flaming weapons here. Does he have medium raiders coming through? Not just yet, but he is going out to the town center. There's the flaming weapons. The units all going to be garrisoning in onto this location. The priest popping out. Look at that damage onto the battle ball. Going to kill that one so very, very quickly. And Mista is going after the town center. The Valkyrie going down very quickly here, but he needs to simply just target down this town center and prevent this garrison micro from going on. He's going after the barracks though for some reason. The units all popping out here for Magic. There's the ancestors coming down, but there are a couple of those Herser. Beautiful mountain giant spawn though. We'll see how much damage this is going to be able to do as these priests coming in, getting a lot done here, but it's looking like Mista's army is all getting swept up here, and Mista taps out. GG, well played by Magic, managing to take this series, take the game, take this series in a fairly commanding fashion here. 3-1, making Mista's Norse complete destruction from Magic here. The Norse just not good enough from Mista in this series. I do have a secret for you guys, though. I'm going to make a quick poll about this one. We've got one more game that we can watch. The problem with said game is that it didn't conclude, and the game felt very drawish in the end. Do we want to see this game or not? That is the question. That is the question. Yes or no? See draw. Apparently, it is awesome. So have a quick vote of the poll and see what you guys want. Surely the answer is yes. Surely you want to see the draw game. So the game went out of sync, and then they couldn't continue the game. It wasn't to do with anything other than just Age of Mythology being funny. It's looking like everyone wants to see this one. We'll let the chat decide if it was a draw or not, and maybe give the winner who we decide an extra point. All right. Looks like we're doing this one. We'll do one more game, and then I'm going to send you guys over to the meta players, people. Oh, I forgot to do this. Boom! And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, a special final game for you guys here. Spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Poseidon. His name is Magic. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Zeus. His name is Mista. Big congratulations to Magic for winning the series. But we do have a special extra fifth game for you guys here on the map Savannah. Zeus versus Poseidon here. Going to be an exciting one. See who's going to be able to take this. It's an exciting matchup to say the very least. We've been seeing a lot of talk about how Zeus just cannot compete in this matchup. The Centaur, early Centaurs just don't get enough value. Poseidon gets to the heroic age too easily. The Nemean Lions can clear out, the Nemean Lion and Atlanta can clear out those Centaur too easily. But if it's an open enough map, the Centaur tend to be pretty good. And Savannah is one of those maps that can be open enough for Zeus to function fairly well. So we'll see how this is all going to go. The villagers moving here onto the wood line. Going to be starting to get that happening. We do have the 5 villagers start here for Mista. For some reason, he killed a goat as well. I don't know. I'm in my suit. Look. And storehouse up now for Mista, and everything is fine and hunky-dory thus far. No real surprises, to be honest. Actually, a bit of a surprise here is Magic's going onto the corner of the map here to get food before going for the gold mine, and we'll see what's actually going to happen. Oh, actually, I kind of like this. I like this a lot. Takes the villagers off the food here from the rhino. Just a little bit of a optimization here in the moment from Magic. A little bit of improvisation for you guys out there. If you've got this situation, maybe you can try it out yourself. But nothing too crazy happening for Mista as he is going to finish up on this rhino, finish up the goat here, move over onto his gazelle. And here's a big thing that happens a lot of the time here, especially on like an open map like Savannah, is the food situation can be dire, and then add on to that the lure situation from the Poseidon can really screw over the opponent on this map. This lure here is possibly one of the stronger archaic god powers, but more sleeper overpowered than anything else. I don't think people realize how good this can be on those low hunt maps, because simply put, where the two giraffe here is. There's 2 giraffe in the base. We probably took 1 giraffe from both locations here. So that's like, not only is it 300 plus food for Magic. It's also minus 300 food for Mista. But here's the temple coming up. 2 villagers on it. This does indicate to me that maybe Mista wants to get the 2 villagers on the favor. So Centaur might be an option here, but he does put them back over onto gold. And potentially we're seeing a second talent center coming up here for Mista. But I doubt it. I don't think so. I don't think that's what we're going to see. But Magic is just about to advance. Temple is coming up. 1 more village is going to be a 445. No surprises. Lots of villagers on the gold here. Lots of villagers on the wood. Going to be a fast second town center for Magic. He's got 9 goats, so it's a decent amount of goats, but I don't think he's going to be able to get to the heroic age without farming in this game. He does have the chicken he can eat as well. It's going to be tough. These villagers over here are slowly eating up the gazelle in the corner, and I think Mista's going to be trying to take that one down with his first port of call. Hermes is the god of choice. Lots of villagers over here onto the wood line for Mista. It's a very weird, bizarre location to be chopping down. He's got 10 villagers on wood. We're grabbing his Jason out. 5 villagers on food. 1 villager on gold. He's going to have to get that house down fairly soon. There it goes. But Magic also going through Hermes, so no crazy Pestilence play. Funnily enough, I do wonder if Pestilence, just thinking out loud, Pestilence is a delay tactic to get your walls up on the temple straight away. Nah, I don't think so. Don't worry. Ares, probably not going to be a thing. Anyways, villagers now moving over here onto the town center. Going to chuck that one up fairly soon as he's going to easily be able to hold on to it. And there we go. Hermes through for Mista. Did we talk about the relics? I don't know. We've got the scales of Octopus here. This one's actually really, really good. People undervalue this because it helps in the myth unit fight quite a bit. So if you're going to expect to fight myth unit versus myth unit, probably want to grab that one. And the Dwarven Calipers here. This one's also huge. Negative 20% siege, wood and gold cost on a Heliopolis ends up being a ton of resources. I think it's something like 80 resources off or something like that. Is that right? Maybe? I don't know. But I guess we'll see how this is all going to go. Definitely want to grab that relic if you're going to be planning on building Heliopolis at any point. But let's see what Mista's doing. He's getting himself Sylvan Lore straight away as the Jason moving down into the corner. Town center just about to come up. The Theseus is already here. So Magic's going to have the town center. He's going to be able to chop down the wood. He will have to build farms. He's on the chicken already. No husbandry just yet. Husbandry is a must here for Magic. And I probably would have even gone insofar as getting husbandry before the stable in this situation, because you just got no hunt to eat, nothing really. There's the bolt onto the centaur though, as Mista was not having any of that. That's actually very, very bad for Mista, because now he can't bolt the Hippolyta, and Magic's going to feel really, really safe here. So we'll see if that's going to happen or not. We got the Odysseus Jason sneaking in, looking for some harass somewhere. But the Centaur do manage to start pushing in onto this. They can't reach the villagers that are hiding over here. Nice building placement from Magic so far here. And we see the villager. Will it go down? It's got 1 HP. 3 HP, but no, Mista doesn't notice it, as he's just going to chill in on this location with the Odysseus and Jason for the time being. And the Centaur still not getting any value here. Will we see Mista getting a second town center or not? It does look like that's exactly what he's going for. He has the wood. He's got the gold. Just needs to throw the town center up. What I wouldn't mind to see here, actually, from Mista is to have taken some villagers off of the wood, taken them over to gold, stop the Centaur production, take the villagers off, and go 3 town centers here as an option. Against the 2 town center play of Magic. It's kind of reminiscent of how you play Atlantean versus Poseidon, because you build like 6 units or something, and then you can put pressure on, prevent your opponent getting their 3rd town center for free while you take your 3 town centers. But obviously with Zeus, it's a little bit slower, and you don't have the... it's a bit harder to make it work. So maybe I take it all back, and maybe that's terrible. As you do see the second town center coming up for Mista right now. The villager difference right now is going to be fairly sizable, because rushing the town center. If Magic has had constant production, I don't think he's really lost a villager thus far. Getting the farms down, he's going to feel really happy about that. He's got plow, he's got hand axe, he's got pickaxe. Mista, on the other hand, no upgrades whatsoever. He's on the herdables without husbandry. You hate to see it. Husbandry is so important. Guys, how many times do I have to say it? I don't know. I don't know how many times I have said it, but husbandry is possibly the most important upgrade you can get. Possibly. In terms of economy. Maybe. Maybe plow is more. Maybe plow is better. Even for Atlantean. Maybe not so much for Atlantean, but it is important for Atlantean. Anyways, we see the centaur coming in, sniping, trying to snipe one villager. Does get 2 shots off onto that one, so very low HP. The centaur coming back, going to get a little bit of chip damage. Do next to no damage to Theseus, but he does come in, risks a shot from Hippolyta there as he's pulling back. 2 town centers are up now for Mista as he's starting to throw those farms down. Does he have plow? He's got husbandry. Plow is not coming through just yet, but I'm sure Mista will grab that one fairly soon here. Now Magic throwing up another stable. I'm honestly surprised to see the stables going up. I don't think there's really much point here in getting stables just yet. Just armory, farms, go heroic age, Nemean Lions, live the dream. But 3 stables are up now for Magic. He's going to start making his Hippocon. Making Hippocon is a risk because they can get sniped. So any value these centaur get is a nice marker yet again from Magic, managing to dodge special abilities so well, utilizing the garrison mechanic there to make that happen. And Mista going to be retreating his centaur back to the middle of the map. We see villagers coming forward onto the berry bushes here. There are berry bushes kind of everywhere in the middle of the map. They're very, very slow to gather from, but it's much better than farming at this stage in the game. And Magic is almost in the next age, whereas Mista, he is slowly but surely getting his economy going. He does still not have plow, but it is coming through. And we see the heroes getting pushed back. The Hippocon going to be able to take them down. I would love to see a little bit more attempt from Mista to snipe these Hippocon, but he needs to basically use that special every 15 seconds onto those units. But right now, Magic has got the army out. He's ready to start pushing forward. And he is about to go to the next age. And he doesn't need to have that many more villagers on food anymore because he's gone to the next age. Stop the production and advance. But he doesn't need to build anymore. He doesn't have crazy amounts of food anymore because his army doesn't cost a lot in terms of food. He just needs a lot of gold. And the walls coming up everywhere. We see the centaur now coming in onto this location though. He will finally get a villager kill there. Snipes one. Going after the second one, does get 2, preventing the walls from going up. Very, very nice play here from Mista, finishing off this villager over here. We see another wall coming up onto this location. There's the armory coming through for Magic. As we see, that was some good value there from Mista, preventing the walls, all the other good stuff. The centaur running straight past the Theseus and the Hippocon coming and going to try and take down the villager. The Hippolyta is chilling here, so we'll get a couple of shots, but the villager will fall. Nice play for Mista here. He's finally getting something out of these centaur thus far. But Magic's still not advanced. Mista's probably thinking about going there himself now. He's grabbing this gold mine here. There is a 1 HP Hippocon. 1 HP. All he has to do is turn around and fight it. And Mista not paying attention. There he goes. He snipes that one off. Meanwhile, over here we see a little raid coming in onto this town center location though. But there's still this low HP villager he could have sniped. Nope, not just yet. Pulling away. These centaur can go after the Hippocon here. And that's exactly what he's doing. Snipes one of them. And then he needs to pull away. As he does do that. And we see some raids now coming in onto this location here. The villagers can turn around and fight this for the time being. There's a centaur, a couple of Hippocon, plenty to defend. I love the double storehouses here from Mista, always being efficient with his wood gathering. Now the centaur coming back for Mista, and Magic's Hippocon get completely decimated here. And that raid really did not very much at all. It did relieve some pressure though. So he's got to take that as that comes. But coming through Aphrodite, tons of villagers on... Did I see 8 villagers on favor? No, he's just putting 4 villagers on favor. Going to want to build Atlanta, Nemean Lions, gold, get Mythic Age, all the good stuff. If you can get Mythic Age through Artemis, get those Chimera out. Also really, really good against the Centaur. We see the villagers coming forward here for Magic. We might have to see a ceasefire here. The Centaur will be very, very strong. There's Aphrodite, but I feel like he doesn't want to ceasefire this if he doesn't have to. You see the Hippolyta is out to help out. Nice micro from Mista, dodging everything. We see the Hippocon running around here, and this is ballsy for Magic, but it's looking like it's probably going to work here as Magic is getting his talent center up without having to use ceasefire. Very, very nice. Do we see that Atlanta? Not just yet. Doesn't quite have the resource for it, but maybe he's going to get it out of the middle town center here, and maybe even some Nemean Lions fairly shortly, as Mista has to retreat. Mista's got his own third town center here, so what he's going to want to do is Armory, get to the Heroic Age, go straight to the Mythic Age is his plan here. So double stable coming out now for Mista. Still trying to pick off these units as he looks kind of retreat marking away. Nemean Lion trying to come through. Do we see that Atlanta coming through just yet? Still not getting that one for Magic just yet. Not feeling too concerned with the Centaur spammage. But the question is, like, what can Mista do here? Does he have to ceasefire? He doesn't want to ceasefire. You wouldn't want to ceasefire because you know that Artemis is a potential to get a lot of damage done. But there's the ceasefire from Mista. Mista is going to be able to advance fairly soon. He's got no resource, or doesn't have any resources. It's not that. He's got no population. He could be spending these resources, but he would be stuck in the classical age for quite some time, which he doesn't really want to have that happen at all. So here we go, going to be advancing. I wouldn't be surprised to see Dionysus here, but he is going through Apollo. Apollo is always an interesting pick here in this matchup. The Dionysus... Did that pick off all those villages? That's so much damage. So so let's talk about this for a second. The Apollo here feels like it doesn't give you a lot, and your aim with Apollo is simply, I'm going to survive and I'm going to get super value out of this at about 25 minutes into the game. That's kind of your aim with Apollo. Where a lot of the time in this situation, you're not going to get to that point in the game. So getting the Dionysus, getting the Bronze, getting the Hydra out, going to be a really, really big help. But we do see the raid coming in onto this location. The villagers trying to make a retreat away. Really, really nice raid from Magic. But now Mista coming in with his Centaur, going to try and push these Hippocon away and not lose too many villagers. He does lose one Hippocon here. But you can only really snipe one at a time, as they don't really do all too much otherwise. But now he's losing Centaur kind of left, right, and center. We do see hoplites coming through for Mista. I love that for Mista. The Hippocon, not really that necessary here. There's the Manticore coming through, going to push these Hippocon away. Nice play from Mista. And he's actually in a very, very nice position here, all things considering. However, I expect Magic to be going through Artemis right now, exactly 50% of the way through, getting golden apples as well in order to get himself a little bit more favor. Golden apples is one of those technologies that feels good on the surface, but in reality, it really doesn't give you too much. But getting that one nonetheless, and it'll help him just a little bit in order to get maybe a Nemean line out a couple of seconds faster. But the Centaur still going to be running around trying to find a way into Magic space. There is this opening over here, so a big raid here would be huge. There's also this situation here. Does Mista know about it is the question, and I don't think he does know about it. He knows there's a gold mine here, but there's not really a whole lot of reason to check that one out, apart from that there's a town center here. But he is going to be looking at this gold mine here, realizing that nothing's there. There's the earthquake onto this location. There's no masons. There's no architects. The town center goes down. All of the military buildings go down. And Mista is in a lot of trouble, has a lot of problems right now. One being losing his center. Two being losing his town center. Three being Chimera coming in to take him out. So the question for Mista right now is, how is he going to survive this follow-up push? No ceasefire to deal with this at all. There's the Chimera coming in, and Magic is saying, I'm here, I'm ready to go, let's fight. We see the Heracles coming out for Mista. Is he going Hephaestus? He is going Hephaestus, so not Hera. Going to go Hephaestus. Hera, to me, feels like maybe a little bit safer because you get the Medusa out in order to take down these Chimera. can kind of trade 1-for-1 with those, but otherwise the damage is going to be very difficult to deal with. There's the champion Hippocon out immediately for Magic as well. He's in such a commanding position at this point in the game, and he could also think about getting the villagers over here, throwing the town center down and simply just casting ceasefire, or even not needing to. And that's exactly what it looks like Magic is going to be going for here. Really, really nice play. Needs to start thinking about those armor upgrades. That's exactly what he's doing. And he is just motoring ahead as Mista is playing the waiting game in order to try and get a Physis, get his armory upgrades, and simply just try and hold on here. The Nemean Lion moving in, going to spot this gold mine here as well. There's the Heracles trying to get onto the Chimera, but nice micro from Magic to pull back and forth, getting the special ability down. But now look at that damage the Heracles does is actually quite a bit. He's actually very, very good at dealing with that Chimera, funnily enough. But Polyphemus is here, ready to start whacking away at Mista. Do we see those upgrades coming in? We do have Forge of Olympus is on the way for Mista. Mista manages to hold on. Magic cast ceasefire as the Colossus comes in to try and defend this one here. But what is Magic's economy looking like? He's struggling on the gold just a little bit. He's got the trade caravans coming through. The donkey caravans are coming through right now for Magic, but Magic is going to be up 4-2 town centers in this game. Going to be very difficult for Mista to make a big push in, but he gets the ceasefire, so he gets time, which means Forge of Olympus comes in, which means now we get all the upgrades coming in. He's got 4 armories, so that means he wants to get Burning Pitch as well. And he can also start thinking about getting some more Colossus out in order to make a big push, but he does have to be worried. Polyphemus, big boy, can whack those Colossus away. Feel very strong. There's the Bellerophon. Would love to see a fortified town centers coming through as soon as possible for Mista. Meanwhile, villagers up on this location. We'll see what's going to happen here. There is a centaur on this location. This is exactly what Mista needs to do. Bait the army in on this location. Underworld into here, maybe even take this large gold mine with his villagers and push in onto this. We do see the hoplites are here, heavy hoplites in order to counter those champion Hippocons. Very, very fair and reasonable unit composition here from Mista, but Magic is in such an advantageous position, having started the trade route here. Look at this trade route going already. He's got such an advantage. The Centaur comes in. There's the Underworld Passage. The hoplites coming into the Underworld Passage right now as Magic needs to think about, does he retreat back, try and defend this, or what? Because now Mista can jump from here to here completely fine. The Bellerophon going to hang out on this location, go after the Chimera that's here, immediately start taking that one down, going to do tons of damage. The town center does get ripped down here by Mista. Really, really nice play. The villagers can make a run for it through the Underworld Passage as well. Like I said, there's a gold mine here that he can grab, but now the hoplites coming back. Champion hoplites, he's probably even got bronze by now. I'm looking at the wrong thing. He's getting the bronze upgrades in right now as it's looking as if Mista is managing to hold this push from Magic. Villagers now pushing forward, potentially going to jump through the Underworld Passage. That's looking like what they want to do, is try and grab this town center. And the big problem here for Magic is this is the entirety of Magic's food economy. 21 farms. If you look at what Magic's got right now, he's got 800 food in the bank, 900 food in the bank, but if he can't defend and get this location back, he's going to spend that very, very quick. Meanwhile, now Mista is sacrificing a lot of units going after this town center here. He's got the full bronze right now, basically, versus Magic, who's almost got similar. Basically as similar, but the hoplites are trading so well, as this is also defense advantage for Mista technically, because he's got the military academies right on this flight here, so he's going to keep being able to resupply after losing units immediately and going to keep pushing through. Let's check out the economic upgrades for Mista. He's got next to nothing. Shaft mine is the only significant upgrade he's got. With the Greeks, you do definitely want to go up to quarry every single game. Irrigation super important, as well as those upgrades for the Greek players here, as opposed to Magic, who's probably got all his upgrades. He's got every single one. Very, very nice play here. We see the army coming through, going to try and take down the Underworld Passage. Meanwhile, a couple of villagers are here to repair this one here, but I don't know if this matters right now, because Mista can take this town center back for himself, get into an equal spot, and see what he can do here. with the town center with their town centers being equal, especially given he's already transitioned in to these hoplites here. We see the military academies trying to get up here, but that's not going to happen. Magic not going to allow that. As the town center goes down, Chimera raids still coming in here for Mista. But I mean, again, the big advantage right now, Mista versus Magic in this game, is the trade route. The trade route is up and it's very sizable. So it's a lot of gold advantage here. We see the Heliopolis coming through for Magic as well as villagers coming over here, getting the town center back, getting the food economy back. And he's going to be completely fine here. Meanwhile, Chimera coming in, picking off some more villagers of Mista in on this game, but the Heracles is out. Remember, we saw this Heracles deal with the Chimera very, very easily earlier in the game, though the Chimera will get a couple more kills before falling here as he's whacking his club, and we will see the Chimera retreating away. The problem is 4.3 speed versus 5.3 speed. You kind of need the Bellerophon here. As now villagers coming in, going to get the town center back for Mista. Villagers coming over here, going to get the town center back for Magic, and we are into a 3 town center apiece pseudo late game right now, with Mista having the advantage of the Plenty Vault and Magic having the advantage of the market. That's what we've got thus far. So we'll see how that's gonna amount, what that's gonna amount to. Meanwhile, I love these stables by Magic. This is something that we've been seeing quite a bit from Matrius in his games. Just chucking a stable on a gold mine can be absolutely obnoxious. And we see the Chimera pushing off of this location here. The Chimera over here also getting chased down still by the Heracles. The hoplites getting a little bit of damage done to them. There's the town center up for Mista as he is still working very, very hard. He's got the hoplites now going to be cheekily moving into the base of Magic. You can actually start thinking about taking the houses down. We do have masons, but no architects. Sniping down some units here that are currently just getting auto-queued into their death. Maybe the town center can start getting thought about getting taken out here. As the Chimera does get taken down by the Bellerophon. Nice play for by Mista in order to slow down Magic's raiding forces. The hoplites have to get pulled off of this town center here. Does he have full iron yet? He does have full iron versus Magic, who's got full bronze with iron weapons. So he's still only just a little bit behind on the armory upgrade. So it's not going to be that big of a deal. Though I would love to see a transition into pure Toxotes here. Toxotes, towers, and then start making your way through onto this location. The Hippocon here, you can make a couple to go for raids, but you don't really want them in your army anymore. Just get raiding and do all the good things. Meanwhile, we see the hoplites over here kind of getting distracted by the Chimera. The nice little micro from Mista, but microing from Magic as well as he is pushing forward. The hoplites still getting picked off here. The Toxotes is starting to get some good damage done as the Hippocon tanking everything here. But still, I guess, without all the upgrades, without the champion Toxotes, it's not really enough. As the hoplites coming through. And Magic will have to retreat here. And we have a little bit of a stalemate. A little bit of a stalemate here. Just a little bit. As neither player is managing to be able to kill a town center. And Mista is just like saying, I play Zeus, so I make hoplite. That's it. But it's working for him thus far. Meanwhile, we see these hoplites kind of sacrificing their lives here to try and take down some villagers on their farms here. I think Magic at this point, he does need these villagers. I was going to say maybe Magic can start thinking about toning down his villagers, but he's looking like he's struggling for resources just a little bit. He stopped his trade route. It's still it's pretty big, but having all of these Heliopolis out thus far is going to be very, very big here in this game. And now we see the Chimera coming in, going to try and snipe down these villagers. Big damage done onto this location here. As the militia sniping villages left, right, and center. Doing all the good stuff. There's the hoplites coming back over here. Going after these villages, the Heliopolis moving forward here. Trying to take down the town center with champion Toxotes coming in. This is going to be an interesting fight here. The hoplites actually win this. Funnily enough, the hoplites win this because Toxotes counter hoplites, but hoplites are really, really beastly units. You essentially need towers plus Toxotes. That's the big bonus there, but that's not what's out just yet. And these hoplites are trading really, really well. They're able to take down the Heliopolis as well, or the Heliopoli as well. And Mista is pushing Magic back yet again, playing absolutely out of his mind from behind right now. I don't know how he's still alive. The score difference is just over 1,000 in the differential category, but I think a lot of that is definitely in the favor gathered by Magic, and I don't think it is this different at all. And it's looking as if Mista might even be able to start thinking about taking the town center down on this location with all of these hoplites. The thing is that Mista needs to get a trade route going very shortly. And how is his economy looking? Very, very difficult to get that happening. Still making villages, still spending his food on hoplites, and no corner control at all. No walls up for Mista either. He's got a couple up, but just not enough here in order to secure his location here. He is just living in Magic's base, though, with these hoplites, just trading so efficiently here that maybe it doesn't even matter that he doesn't have a trade route. He's just going to keep going with the massive hoplites and hopefully be able to secure gold mines. We see Chimera coming back in here yet again, sniping so many villages. 4 villager kills there by that Chimera. Nice play yet again by Magic, but the army in here has been cleaned up. Magic is sitting at 113 population. He's got no gold in the bank. This town center is a very real target right now for Mista, as he's right-clicked on it, going after it, going to do so much damage. Even with Masons, even with Architects, the hoplites, champion hoplites with iron weapons, these things do tons of damage. 25.6 damage a second onto this town center. So it's closer to like 15 or 12 damage a second with the 56% hack armor, but town center goes down here, and Mista seemingly in the lead right now in this game, as the Chimera does come in, going to get a little bit of damage done. But honestly, with all the upgrades here, what is this damage that this does? Is it like 20? I can never remember how much damage it does. 28 hack. 3 fire streams for 28 hack damage each. So it's doing about 68 hack damage. With the 50% hack armor, it's only like 30% damage, 30 damage. And the hoplites have got 166 HP, so it's really not that much damage anymore in this game with the iron mail. It's just not. There's just not that much. So building the Chimera at this point in the game is more detrimental than anything else. Definitely need to start thinking about maybe even a pacifist here in order to deal with these hoplites. But there's the pacifist coming out finally for Magic, and that's going to mean that Mista, he's starting to think about archery. Right? He's like, Oh, Magic's worked it out. He's got my trick. He's worked out the trick. The answer to the hoplite is the counter infantry indeed. As well, it's not yet there. He doesn't have the upgrades. There's medium upgrades. Got some towers now coming up for Magic. Very smart to throw these up in order to try and prevent Mista from taking this location here. But we'll see if he's going to be able to hold on to this one or not, as the hoplites pushing in, doing a lot of damage here. See more towers coming up. But with the pacifist here, this is a bit of a different fight than we've been seeing, as these hoplites are looking like they're mostly going to get cleaned up here, especially with defender's advantage and all the other good things here. But now we're going to start seeing some Toxotes coming out. How is Mista's economy looking? He's got those archers coming down. He's trying to throw up a market. If it's a Matrius market I've ever seen one, that's it. Holy. But still seeing raids coming over onto this gold mine, as Mista is really struggling to secure gold in onto this game. We see this stone wall trying to get taken down by a couple of hoplites, getting repaired. It's not enough. It's trying to throw up this location over here. And we see the hoplites making a diversion over onto this location here. Maybe going to push through, try and prevent the trade route from being so much a thing here. And the villager is making his way up onto the market to start his trade route. Finally, 28 minutes into the game. Now we see the stone wall getting taken down here. And we'll see if he's going to get anything done in terms of damage here onto this location or not. Meanwhile, villagers back over here onto this gold mine. It's almost out of gold here. You will have to move forward onto this gold mine fairly shortly. I would love to see a fortress here and just hold this location. Meanwhile, Bellerophon coming in. This damage that Bellerophon's going to be able to do onto the Chimera is going to be huge. Chimera going to be retreating away from here. More units flooding in for Mista as he's going after these donkey caravans, picking them off very, very quickly. This is actually such a smart play from Mista here. If he can shut down the trade route, that levels the economy. And Chimera coming back over. Just continuous Chimera raids onto this gold mine. One wall here would have been enough. And then the Chimera have to bash that down. And Chimera doesn't do crush damage. So walls are the counter to Chimera a little bit at this point in the game. Especially stone walls. But losing all of these donkey caravans levels the trade situation, giving Mista the economic edge because he's got the plenty vault. So this is such a smart play from Mista. So we'll see how he's going to manage this. He's got the trade route started, going to start getting those donkey caravans coming very, very slowly here. He doesn't have any upgrades for them, no coinage. The upgrades for Mista are still woeful in this game. No flood control, no bow saw, was it? No bow saw and no quarry. But Mista are pushing in, killing this off beautifully here, as Magic is just not able to deal with this Zeus army that Mista has constructed thus far. The Toxotes, not microing here. Nice pullback there from Magic, pulling those Toxotes in, and now the Hippocon can start getting some good damage done. But honestly, deleting the market was the right call. Market in this corner going into this town center couldn't be a bad idea, or even a market up in this corner now to come over here wouldn't be a bad idea either. But not happening just yet, as Magic is simply just trying to hold on to this location. But I think Mista needs to think about putting his forces elsewhere yet again. Now he's got done that damage and really hurt Magic. So we're still seeing this raid over here as the village is moving forward onto the middle gold mine here. And both players kind of struggling for gold thus far. Let's see. Mista still trying to push through here, but it's just... I think the damage has been done now. We do see Magic putting the market back up in the side. Actually, he didn't delete it. I think Mista killed this market himself, and Magic still wants the corner. Just have to trade the corner here. Meanwhile, we see the villagers getting sniped yet again, as Mista is still not able to get gold in this game. And they both sold so much food and wood here. 18 gold for their food and wood here in this game. So the trade route is starting here. You should make caravans from both your markets if you're starting a late market. Oh, sorry, a late trade route. That way you get the gold coming much faster. But I think Mista knows that he's kind of got something happening here. So we'll see how it all goes, and if this game is it's gonna be a weird one. Another Chimera moving into the main base of Mista, gonna try and take down some of these villages on the farms. It's an interesting way to be attacking here. Yeah, the Chimera moving over onto this corner of the map. Still looking for villages. There are these villages on the wood line here. Get some really, really good picks there. Meanwhile, we see the gold villages here getting raided. Mista is kind of all over the map. Hippocon raids now coming in, sniping villages on the farms. Nice play thus far. And now the Toxotes going after the villages yet again. And it's looking like Mista's held. Mista is kind of stabilized. His trade route is looking pretty healthy thus far. And Magic's is kind of hurting a little bit. He's got a couple, but it's kind of hurting. And Magic is managing to leave himself fully populated right now. So both players, full population, decent position. Throwing the fortress, getting thrown up for Magic. Coming over here, we see the Chimera returning back over onto this gold mine. Going to be hitting this one with yet again another flaming breath there. Getting some more kills, but with the Toxotes here, the Heracles, the Chimera will get sniped down, and villagers can continue mining on this location. Still so many units out for Magic. I don't even think, sorry, for Mista, I don't even think I can select them. I can't. So we've got more than 30 military units here. That just goes to show how good Plenty Vault is, because you can just get up to this fairly consistently, keep making good trades. We see the Bellerophon raids. I love this. This isn't something you get to see every day, and it's actually a really, really good use of Bellerophon. What is it? 4 hits or 5 hits? Must be a 5 hit onto a donkey caravan. You can completely disrupt the trade route of your opponent by doing this. So nice, smart play from Mista utilizing the Bellerophon in that way. But the problem for him is he's only getting 56 gold a trip here. We do see a dock coming down, 2 docks coming down, and also a trireme. Is this going to be in range? I think it will be. It's a lot less population to disrupt the trade route than Bellerophon, but meanwhile, Magic still flooding in onto this location over here. Does manage to snipe yet again another Chimera. The Chimera Tyrant here gets dealt with fairly nicely. Another Chimera coming in onto this location here. Is this trireme in range? I don't know. It's actually maybe a waste of population. Not sure. But how is Magic surviving here? Does he have a gold mine somewhere? He doesn't have a gold mine anywhere at all. He's going to throw up a market in the top corner of the map. But he's just losing out on so much economy here. 97 gold left, not coming through. Gets that sniped. And it's like... It's also the 100 food he loses. We do see some Hippocon now coming over to snipe down the Bellerophon. 58 HP remaining, and that will get taken out there. Finally, Magic gets a little bit of air to breathe in this game on his trade route after all of that pressure that Mista's been putting onto him. But both players still not doing all too much. We've got the walls now coming up here for Magic as he's starting to control the map a lot better as he really should. And he's got the market in the top corner. A wall not quite up just yet for Magic because he doesn't quite have the resources. But we will see some walls over here for Mista as he is pushing through yet again. Still no champion archers for Mista. Struggling just a little bit on the resources for that one, being 35 minutes into the game. But Mista does have to retreat away from this location here. More buildings coming up for Mista everywhere. So he's got to think about what he wants to do. He is throwing up a temple. Ooh, some Colossus raids. Ah, the transport ship. You love to see it. Absolutely love me a transport ship jumping over the wall, coming in onto this location. It is 2 population that's going to be sitting here, but it's totally worth it if you can utilize that transport ship getting past those walls that everyone's so happy to be using as a natural barrier for units to cross through. But Mista still kind of, he's on the back foot here. He's trying to hold on. He's trying to take this fight. These Toxotes will be able to snipe down the Heracles really fast. 620 HP on that unit there. Temple is up. Mista's got 179 favor, 180 favor here, so he can really spam these out. We will be seeing some hoplites looking like they want to come into the transport ship. Not 100% sure what they're doing. So we see these Toxotes getting the good damage done here. More walls up onto this location here. Kind of funny walls. Probably just, I mean, it looks like he doesn't want to deal with the water here. If he pushes the donkey caravans down this way, he's not going to have to deal with archer ships here. He has to destroy this wall, but that was pretty smart from Magic here. But it is looking like a bit of a stalemate here. Still, I'm surprised to see as little towers being thrown up that we've seen so far in the game. Like, both players have probably got the resources now to play with. Magic still not with the gold, but definitely Mista might want to think about getting that happening. We see a cheeky little side build over here onto this location, but Magic probably doesn't care too much. He's got this corner now kind of secured for himself. So we'll see how this is going to do, or what this is going to do, I should say. He could throw up a fortress here and start pushing it onto this. He still hasn't thought about making himself Colossus here, which I would have liked to have seen. But meanwhile, Chimera getting taken out. Odysseus getting taken out as well. Whereas Mista is still sitting full population, but he's not really able to do all too much. There's the guard towers now coming down for Mista in order to try and hold on to this market here. Villagers getting sniped. This is really, really good for Magic. Magic actually doesn't have his champion infantry just yet, which is a bit sad. More military buildings coming up for Magic all over the map. Makes sense. Some walls coming over here. Love that. Sniping down the market. There are 4 militia that pop out, though, if you pick off the market. So, pretty brutal is what it is. Now the trade route of Mista is under siege. So he has to come in here and defend this. He's kind of defended it thus far. But he's losing a couple more donkey caravans. The Chimera is still waddling around doing his thing. And looks like Mista did finally decide to click Heracles over here. We'll be able to clean the Chimera up fairly quickly here. Towers now coming up for Mr. Who's trying to secure this corner of the map. This is a really, really important side build in a lot of ways. But Mista's going to have to sacrifice something in order to push through here. And it is a bit of a risk. So we'll see if that's what he's going to be doing. He's going to throw up another temple here. This is behind enemy lines. If you can get a 3 Colossus or something to push in and take this town center down, that could be huge. So we'll see how that's going to go. There's the Hippolyta getting sniped down. More villagers coming through for Mista. This is such a crazy game of back and forths here. And there's the Colossus in onto this location, but Polyphemus is already out to deal with this one. Doesn't even take down the fortress. Another Colossus coming in. I don't like the Colossus here. Build the Colossus here. Attack here. Not here. Especially now you've seen the Polyphemus on this location here. This means that there's no defense for Colossus in the main base. We are seeing a fortress coming up onto this location here. But this is as close a game as you're ever going to see, if you ask me. Maybe Magic gets an edge here if he gets the fortress up. But Mista's got the edge here because of this side build. If he can ever use it, though. There is a lot of population being wasted. 4 population being wasted here that probably could get deleted by now. See Polyphemus coming in. Funnily enough, if Polyphemus whacks the Colossus, he goes to safety. And he keeps whacking away at the fortress. And Mista manages to hold on still on this location here. See more villagers pushing in. Potentially going to try and finish this wall off over here. Or maybe some towers. The villagers getting the Bellerophon flying in to take the villagers down. As this game is continuing. And it's looking like we're back to mass hoplite again. As the Hippolyta coming through for Magic. As this unit composition just keeps changing. As the game continues. We see a dock coming up for Mista. Wants to get some triremes here to help defend this location easier. More guard towers getting set up. And still no Colossus over here. I'm so surprised to see that. Is he still making Colossus from here? He is. It's just not what I would do. And now we see the Polyphemus pushing the Colossus back. Dock is up, and we will see the triremes here. Did he get? He didn't. He didn't get enclosed dock. Or sorry, not enclosed dock. What's it called? Arrow ship cladding. He didn't get arrow ship cladding here. Now the Bellerophon jumping in, doing its thing. More towers coming up, and the dock going down before the trireme can get out. Sitting full population, 159 of 160. Does manage to snipe that one off. But here's the thing, if Mista can get in onto this corner here, he actually gets a very, very pleasant position in this game as well. And he's trying to push through, but obviously it's a bit of a stalemate here. The Mista is building some towers up, maybe with the idea of pushing through here. But I think if he keeps pushing this way with the towers, he can slowly get this corner because he has this corner over here. And corners are what wins Age of Mythology games in the late game. So We'll see if that's kind of what's going to happen here, as Magic's not throwing anything up here. He does have a lot of villagers on this gold mine as well, as Magic is kind of short on gold in this game as this is all going on. He's still making the donkey caravans, though, trying to get on top of that. Toxotes back out here for Magic, as he's got a good amount of them to fight this off. And now the Toxotes is going to be retreating away, doing their thing. But still not utilizing this. I'm surprised. Surprised that that's what's happening. What the donkey caravan's getting a bit confused here. They can't get through the small gap that Magic's managed to put in onto this location. Really nice attack here from Magic in order to hurt Mista's gold economy. He has to pick these off. The towers are up here now, though, for Mista. So he should be able to hold onto this location. If not, hold onto it, push through. His towers start really giving yourself the advantage, but more villagers coming in for Magic. He's going to want to put his own towers up here potentially, or even use his villagers to siege down the other towers, but he's going straight in, trying to get the walls up onto this market here. Funnily enough, now that Mista's opened this location up, he could probably put a market over here and do exactly what Magic's done and do a switcheroony with his trade route. But Hippocon getting sniped down, Polyphemus coming in, and Magic, it's looking as if Magic's kind of got the pace of this game kind of worked out. He's such a good deathmatch player. He's been winning deathmatch tournaments since I don't even know when. So winning Magic in the late game is no easy feat. So we'll see if Mista's got any idea how we can make that work. Meanwhile, Polyphemus is going to get sniped down here. So the Toxotes getting some good damage done onto the market. And I don't think the market goes down just yet. It is on 85 HP though. So it could go down fairly shortly, but here's the problem. This trade route is getting absolutely brutalized. Mista needs to keep resetting it so he can get through there. He needs to clear this out. We'll see if he's going to throw up that market. He does throw the market up onto this location, deletes this market, and those donkey caravans will get going now. And Toxotes doing their thing, sniping everything off. Hoplites pushing in, pushing the Toxotes back. Very, very nice game here. And now the Heliopolis coming in, going to try and take down these guard towers. Very nice, but Magic is going through to the Titan Age. The Titan Age is an interesting one in this game, in the Greek mirror. Because, well, Mista's got no resources right now, but Magic's got some decent resources. Titan doesn't really mean win against Zeus, because Zeus can just kind of kill it off. But we're seeing yet again the trade route of Magic getting dealt with, and there's the market getting deleted. As Magic's trade route now going to be moving over to this market here. So both players' markets kind of getting dealt with in this game. Now the Polyphemus moving forward, tower getting targeted down here, and all of this defense that Mista had thrown up is getting dealt with nicely. And Mista now finally has some resources to play with. He's going to have to click up. He probably does have to click up Secrets of the Titans himself here. But he doesn't have the wood just yet. How much are these getting? 39. You've got this here. You've got this space here. Just put a market there. We do see all these units getting cleaned up. Nice fight by Mista yet again. And he's able to start thinking about maybe pushing forward with these units. So many infantry units, 17 hoplites. You can definitely start going for some town center raids or something like that. More towers coming up onto this location, maybe meaning Mista wants to make a big attack here. But the Heliopolis are here with siege engineers. There's the Titan Age coming through for Magic. Where's he going to throw it down? He could probably just throw it down. He goes over here, taking the wood villagers off, going to jump onto this location here. We'll see how fast he's going to get that one up, and if Mista is going to go himself. But now we see Mista able to start pushing through. He does lose those towers, but he's getting more up as they are going down. The Heliopolis getting torn down as well here. And now Mista still pushing in onto this location here, trying to dictate the pace, trying to get in onto Magic's position. And it's looking like Mista's getting close to to being able to click up to the Titan Age himself. So we'll see if he can get there in time or not. That's the question. We're at 20%. So by the time you get to the Titan Age, you probably have a little bit longer to wait as well. So who knows? Who knows if he's going to get there? He's trying to get it, I think. Yeah, there we go. Clicking up through the Titan Age there. So he's trying to get that one out. That's just going to be a trade of Titans. It's kind of just delays the game by about 5 minutes, I reckon. And it is what it is, but that's what's in this game. So Toxotes pushing through. I don't think that Mista is going to be able to make much of a headway through here, but he is going to come over here onto this location yet again, start trying to take down some of these donkey caravans, preventing the gold from coming through. If he can actually pick them off, it's going to be huge, because they're coming through this way, it looks like. So we see another dock coming over here, potential for some more archer ships here. And Mista gets pushed back yet again as Apollophmus comes in with his big club saying, nope, this is my location. It's my location. I'm living here. There's the dock. And there are fortified walls here, but they're very damaged. So Loplites can break through this if he so chooses. We'll see what Mista's plan is. There are some Hippocon coming over here, though. They'll get dealt with very simply. And it is looking like Mista is kind of just waiting it out here. He realizes... How does he get the Titan up fast enough, though? He has to put it up in this corner here, as far away as he can. And then the Titan is out for magic. So the Titan just has to walk across the map. And I don't know if Mista actually gets this out. He puts it over here. He's going to get all of his villages, and he's put 30 villages over here. In order to get the Titan out. And it trades just basically Titan for Titan, if he can get it up in time. Meanwhile, we do see these archer ships doing some good stuff. But there is the possibility that while this Titan is out, moving up onto this location, that there is an extra 20 population that Mista can play with. And that's exactly what's going on here. As Magic's still fighting, he's at 169 or 160 pop. So every unity Mista kills is going to be a more efficient way of trading. You can always block this Titan kind of indefinitely with your donkey caravans as well. So we'll see if that's what Mista's going to do in this game or not. Apollophmus walking forward, going to get sniped down by the Toxotes. Nice play. We see the Titan saying, I don't care. I'm just going to walk around. I'm going straight for your Titan gate. We see some buildings coming down, some walls coming through. Jason coming in to try and start bashing away at the Titan here. Apollophmus goes down. And Magic is getting a bit confusing. Just needs to click over here and control the Titan well. He's going after these buildings though. And they're taken down very, very quickly here. They're at 45%, and we're just over a screen length away of distance, as we're starting to see some of those ghost buildings getting thrown up here. Storehouses, military academies, everything else. We see these units moving in, and that is where we're going to have to finish here, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, the game went out of sync, and it was going out of sync consistently, so they could not finish the game. Got no footage for you to finish this one off. The scores are incredibly close. There's a Titan in Mista's base, but we know that doesn't mean a win at this level of play. It doesn't even mean that he's going to be able to prevent the Titan from coming out. Let's chuck a poll up in the chat, and you guys can say who you guys think won, and we'll give the point to them who won, and we'll give 3 responses, Magic, Mista, and Draw, and you guys can say who won if you so feel like it. I feel like this game's super, super close, and even if the Titan doesn't get out here, I feel like Mista's still kind of okay here. The big thing going for Mista, in my opinion, is he's pushed off the gold mines in both, or the markets in both corners, and that can translate into a pretty good win. Both players are getting very small amounts of gold at this moment, 36 each, I think it was, and that's about it here. And Man, I don't even know. It's very close. Plenty Vault does play a big role at this point, part of the game as well for Mista. Magic's got the Poseidon Edge with Polyphemus, with the Militia, with the Divine Blood technology to get those buildings spamming a little bit faster. He's got some good walls up here, but they're not really complete. The map control is very how you're going at the very best as well for both players. So it's a very big question mark as to who would actually win this game, in my opinion. I think I would end up going in with the draw if I had to pick. Civilian unit high, very, very close. Military count, very, very close. Improvements, very, very close on the research count. Mythology, very close. Got 18 chimeras coming in. Resources are favoring Magic quite substantially in this game as well. And considering that the scores being so close it tells a very, very big story here as well in terms of how this game has actually gone. Anyways, how is the poll looking? And it's looking like people are saying 39% draw, 34% say Magic won, and 27% say Mista won. Anyways, it's a draw. Magic gonna take this one 3-1 in the end of the day. We'll call it 3.5 to 1.5. If you guys enjoyed this series, appreciate you guys so much. We would really appreciate a follow on the Twitch. If you're on YouTube and watching this in the future, then I appreciate you guys just as much. Thank you so much for subscribing, hitting like buttons, leaving comments. I read all the comments. Appreciate you guys so much. I will probably be doing Age of Empires 4 content for the next, I don't know how long. I'm having a lot of fun. I will be having a lot of fun playing. I had a lot of fun in the stress test playing the game. So exploring new games, it's going to be really, really fun. I'm looking forward to the release. And I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to send you guys over to Meta Plays. If you guys don't know Meta Plays and you are after some more Age of Mythology content, I do encourage you to go check them out. A very fantastic content creator, Nakamura, over there running tournaments and all the other competitive stuff. But thank you guys for watching the tournament. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye. Is Meta Place going? Yes. All right. Bye-bye.